almost as if I was a DJ. I am a DJ.
Hello. Welcome to my so-called Gen X life. My name is Natalie. This is my channel, Either Grendelson. Joining me as always is subscriber, channel member, mod, and friend Grendelson. Are you frozen or are you just... Hey, on this stream, I don't know if you're frozen or not until you move a little bit.
I'm good. What up?
Hello. We are back at it for chapter 11 of The Fourth Turning by William Strauss and Howe, a 1997 book that we've dove in now for about 3 months, and we're about to wrap it up. This is the penultimate episode of the Fourth Turning book club, so only one more week to go. Hello, everyone watching. Hello, everyone in the chat. What up, San Diego Chrissy? How is it going? Hello, Dale. Hello. Tonight, chapter 11 is the beginning of the third and final part of the book, which is titled Preparations. And the chapter 11, is titled Preparing for the Fourth Turning. Now, obviously, we are well in the fourth turning at this point. We are in the crisis mode. And so all of this stuff is going to be just kind of, did we do it? Did we follow any advice? So I'm sure it's probably going to be no. And and also, what can we still do now that we are needed in this crisis? We still have a few years left, so some of this stuff is relevant. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, but something weird is happening.
Your sound is choppy. I don't know how mine is, but
I'm
not hearing you very well at all.
Okay, hold on.
I'll vamp. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me okay. I can't hear you okay. Wow.
You can't hear me okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
San Diego Chrissy, can you hear us?
Yeah, voice.
Electric Deb. Yeah.
Okay. Well, isn't that fun?
So we're joined by Natalie the robot over here. Just back from Comic-Con.
I am a robot. And I'm like, on my end, like I'm flashing on the video is flashing on and off. It's going to, like a quick black screen and then back to me. So
great.
So Grendelson is clear and that's having issues. Rural Missouri internet.
I can't pull up the book, it seems like, for some reason. I'm having problems opening my own file. But I'll figure that out.
Keep me updated as to how I'm hearing.
That's the easiest part. I can pull the book up one of these days. And then I can read if we tell me where to go.
Right. Let me remove myself from I'm going to remove myself from the stage and then put myself back up and see if that helps.
I'll go ahead and vamp for a minute. And,
I'll
vamp for a minute. So let's see what can I talk about this week. Let's see, it's Gen X. Did anybody die recently? No, I don't think so. We just finished. Oh, Comic-Con just happened. I know San Diego Chrissy, you're down in San Diego. I missed Comic-Con again, so unfortunately didn't go. But I used to go. 10 years I went. Didn't go, but I picked up some Comic-Con merch today. I bought some stuff on one of the websites. So hopefully I can. Go ahead and let's give you a shot, Natalie.
Okay, how does that? Am I sounding any better?
You're sounding a little better, but it's still a little choppy to me. But go ahead and.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to. If people can't hear me, then I don't want to. Keep going like this. Hold on.
You are sounding better.
Sounding better. Okay.
Better. Yeah.
Okay. Robots.
I think we're on chapter 11, the fourth turning.
We are. chapter 11. Let's see. All right, hold on. I'm going to turn my camera off and come back on. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. Can you guys hear me? How does that sound on my audio?
You're actually sounding still the exact same.
It's the exact same.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Technical difficulties. Yeah, we're losing all of our viewers. Oh no! Oh no!
No.
If I'm having technical difficulties, let's see here, and you can't hear me. I don't want to just postpone till next Tuesday, but I mean, if it's not good, people aren't going to watch, and it's not worth us sitting here talking if people can't hear me and understand and see me.
I can hear and see you now, but it's still choppy for
it's
me.
still really bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not bad, but it's
choppy. Okay. Well, stick around. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
Yeah, it is getting better. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot.
All right, we'll go as long as we can. Before we get started, I do want to, since we're early on and I haven't done it this early before, I do want to talk about the book that we're going to be doing this fall, which is What Happened to Your Hair by Matthew and Gunnar Nelson. We'll be starting it up probably in September, would be my guess, after Labor Day. And so it'll be Gen X autobiography to read. It's my favorite autobiography that I've read about a Gen Xer. So I'm excited. Now, I'm giving away 5 copies. This is my copy here.
Woo!
But I also have
brand new copy.
And this copy. And it's coming.
You just bought 5 copies and you're going to send them out. I would have just been like, all right, I'll just buy 5 copies on Amazon and put their address in and have Amazon ship it to them.
Yeah, I wanted to put a little, extra something special.
Oh, that's so sweet, though.
I know. And also, Brindleson, I have this copy, which I'm sending to you tomorrow.
No! No!
It's true. I got you a copy as a thank you for being the co-host on my book club. So,
well, I do it out of the love in my heart and the exposure, but also the love in my heart. And I love this channel and I want to give back. So, not necessary, of course, but I thank you. And of course I already knew, but I'm playing along and I love this. I can't wait for the Nelsons truly, because I grew up as a fan of Ricky because of my mother.
Yes,
absolutely adores Ricky Nelson.
Yep,
loved him. As I have mentioned, we saw Ricky Nelson in concert live,
right,
at the Wild Animal Park, which is now the Safari Park,
right before he died. Mm-hmm.
In 1984, I believe it was. About, I want to say it was the same summer he died, because I'm pretty sure
85. It was. August of 85 was when, because we talked about this a few weeks ago. We were there to see him in August of 85. He died in December of 85.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
you were right there for him.
Yeah, I did look it up at one point. And so, I'm super, obviously I remember when Tracy was on shows, because I always had a crush on her.
Yep, Square Pegs. Yep.
Oh, man. Oh, she was so awesome on Square Pegs. Square Pegs, man.
Yep. Or Father Dowling Mysteries. She did some good stuff.
Yeah. Square Pegs, though.
Yeah. I'm so bad. Okay.
And for me, it wasn't Sarah Jessica. It was the other girl. Amy Linker. Oof.
Yeah.
You had a crush on her. I have a type. So yeah, I love that show.
They're having a hard time hearing me, so I'm going to say the word for tonight. I'm going to let you repeat it and tell everybody. So tonight's word is garden party. Tell them what to do with the word garden, or the phrase garden party.
Okay, so tonight, the phrase that pays, and we're only going to say this for the next minute or so. The phrase that pays is the Ricky Nelson song, Garden Party. That is Garden Party, Ricky Nelson's big hit from the 70s. Great song. Gonna take it. I can't remember how it goes right now.
Went to a garden party. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Garden Party. So put that in the comment section. You will be entered into the contest to get your very own copy of the Nelson autobiography. That once again, that phrase that pays is garden party. We will say it one more time, garden party. And now we will never say it again for the rest of the evening.
They can put it in the chat, or they can put it in the comment section of the replay, and that will enter them into the drawing for a Nelson book.
Yes,
Yay!
Put it in the chat, put it in the comment section. Natalie will go ahead and review all of the comments and get all of the entries together, and I don't know what you're going to do. You can throw them on a spreadsheet and pick.
I already have them. I have them on a spreadsheet. They're numbered, and I'm going to jumble them all up, and then you're going to tell me some numbers, and we're going to pick the winner.
Cool. You got the fourth turning downloaded into your Audible. Nice. Who's doing the narration? I don't wonder.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
It's not Will Wheaton, I bet you. Will Wheaton is the best narrator for everything.
Really?
Oh yeah, by far. I listen to he does a science fiction short story podcast every week where he just reads a science fiction short story. They're fantastic. Cool. Fantastic. He's such a great narrator and a good dude whose autograph I purchased probably about 10 times by now.
Well, I'm not sure who. I have it on my phone as well. Let me look and see. I'll tell you who. I don't think it's anybody like known. Let me know if I'm still bad, because I'm not going to get going here if it's bad. I hate this so much.
You know, I do listen to audiobooks, but mostly while I'm in the car and only on longer trips. So I don't listen like if I'm at home or anything like that. I have done, but I don't know. I'm not. I still am a paper print reader, but the worse my eyes get, now I have to wear stupid reading glasses to read.
Yeah. Oh, my copy of The Fourth Turning is narrated by Neil Howe. So
whoa, doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. So I prefer author narrated.
I usually do too, unless it's like, somebody who's, like, I like, people with English accents have really nice, reading.
Well, they also have to have a good speaking voice, a good reading voice.
Well, I tell you, it's really hard for me. One of my favorite authors is Neil Gaiman, and he has gotten himself into some trouble over the last several years. So it's really hard to be a fan of his currently. He's got issues. Really hard to be a fan. He's got such a mellifluous voice. I'm sorry, so beautiful to listen to, and I can't even do it right now. I'm just like, you're being weird. Anyhow, So I can hear you okay, but I don't know if the rest of the people can.
I gotta be honest, I don't feel comfortable continuing the discussion with my technical issues on this end, and I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, but I just obviously I'm having technical issues. I don't know if it's my internet connection, if it's my StreamYard, something's wrong with my StreamYard. If it's the
heat, because I heard that Kansas was the hottest place in the nation, and I know you're close to it. So,
yeah, it was 102 degrees.
Right,
all right.
Try and restart. Turn off your computer and turn it back on again. I'll stay on because I'm on the stream. So
if that
we can try a couple more things.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna try to get out of here and come back and see. Now, if the stream ends, then we'll just come back together next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But if I can come back, then we'll keep going. All right.
Tell me and I'll sit here and vamp, and
just be good.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right back.
I'm a good boy.
Okay.
I'm a good boy. Tom Parks was put out in 2023. Joseph's not going anywhere. Well, that's good. Hey, look, it has me. I'm the only one here. The channel's mine. No. We're not going to do anything that would get Natalie in trouble. Are we? No, we're not. We should talk about merch, though. She needs more merch. I agree. We need some merch. We got to put that logo on the merch. Definitely got to put the logo on the merch. San Diego Chrissy, you're still here. That's awesome. Grendelson, I'm still here. Joseph's still here. So what else can I tell you? So had the Comic-Con last week. Used to go. I did. I used to live in San Diego. I lived there from 1980 to 1997. No, 98. Sorry. I forget what year I left. But I went to San Diego Comic-Con from 1985 to 1997. I went to 10 of them. At one point, I actually worked for Comic-Con for the animation room, doing some stuff for their program. I haven't paid to get into Comic-Con since like 1988, so it's hard for me to go because I don't want to pay. But I do know a couple people who are high up in the org, so I'm going to hit them up in 2028. That's what I'm going to do because my kid will be 21 by then, and hopefully I'll be able to take him to their first San Diego Comic-Con. They've already been to the Los Angeles Comic-Con a couple of times, 3 or 4 times now. And the Los Angeles Comic-Con is nowhere near San Diego. It's like San Diego used to be in the 90s and the 80s, but it's nowhere near what San Diego is now. And I watched all the footage from this weekend, and I don't even think I want to go. I did see Lisa Whelchel was there. That was so interesting to me that Blair from The Facts of Life showed up, and she cosplayed. She cosplayed as, I forget who, but she cosplayed while she was there. I thought that was really clever of her. So yeah, she was there for MeTV, doing pimping her show. Yeah, she hasn't aged much, I don't think. I did see that. The panel seemed interesting. Ryan Reynolds showed up at Comic-Con as Deadpool. He walked around Comic-Con floor dressed as Deadpool in jean gray. That was the color of his Deadpool outfit. And he had the mask on, and nobody really knew who he was, but he took pictures with fans and all sorts of stuff. That's pretty fun. I'm going to see The Odyssey in 2 days. I got tickets for 70mm IMAX here in LA. Yeah, I think Cena was there. A bunch of wrestlers were there for different things. I know a lot of people were there. I wasn't there. I wish I was. I do know a couple of people who were there. I didn't talk to them over the weekend because they were too busy. But I'm sure they had a fantastic time. Just like anyone who's ever gone ever tells you, it is the best. It's a fun time. I always get real, like, because I haven't gone in 30 years, I kind of get a little bummed out, like, that I can't go and that I'm not there. But then it goes, away so quickly, and it's the next week, and it's over for a whole other year, and we have other things to talk about. So there's that. We have lots of things to talk about. I saw a great clip this morning of Boomer Kurt Russell talking to, I want to say Kelly Clarkson. I think it was Kelly Clarkson. And he was talking about actually working with Walt Disney because, of course, Kurt Russell worked with Walt Disney when he was a young actor. And there's, footage of him and Disney talking to each other and working together. He started working for Disney when he was like 11 or 12. So, he knew Walt. And it was funny to see Kelly Clarkson's realization that he actually knew Walt Disney, and she was talking to somebody who knew Walt Disney, because you can see it just blew her mind that, like, because I think Walt Disney, to most of us Gen X, is somebody who was alive during our parents' lifetime. Very few of us were alive when Walt was alive, because he died in, I want to say 68, 66, 67, somewhere in there. So only the earliest Gen Xers would have been alive when Walt was alive. So the earliest of us, we got, some of Walt's magic through the end of his lifetime. I know he worked on Jungle Book. I think he had a little to do with Robin Hood, and those were the last ones that he worked on. And those, Jungle Book and Robin Hood were the first movies that I can remember seeing. So, hey, there's a Natalie. Let's see.
Hey.
Hey, I can hear you.
Does that sound better?
It does.
I had to completely turn off my computer and restart it.
Well, you
So-
sound terrific now, so
Okay.
we're a little late, but I will stop talking. I was actually just talking about Walt Disney and Kurt Russell because I saw a great clip of Kurt Russell talking about Walt Disney. I was saying it's crazy because Walt Disney was a person who lived, a real person who lived before most of us were born, and for most of us, he is iconic and a mythical figure. But to our parents, he was Uncle Walt. Anyway, that's what I really wanted to point out.
No, absolutely. He was born. He died right when Gen X started being born.
He died right when Gen X was babies. Yeah. Right. So we didn't get the full Uncle Walt experience that I think boomers really did have a personal connection. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got this great one.
There's Kurt Russell right there in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
One and only genuine original family band on VHS.
Oh, I know. That's so great. I got this one. This is, I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see with the background there. The background's taking you out.
This is Disneyland Secret Stories and Magic, Disney Treasures. It's a
nice.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's a 2-disc DVD set of all of the old Disney TV shows about Disneyland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's got the making of Pirates. It's got the making of Space. Everything prior to Walt dying, basically. And it came with the.
Joseph says you were plotting to take over the channel while I was gone. Is that correct?
You'll never say. You'll just have to go back and watch the rewind.
I guess so. Okay. All right, guys. I think we're good now.
We all love Disneyland, except we've never been there. But yeah,
I've got a couple of videos that I've been writing on. I'll work on like 30 videos at a time, like just scripts, like whenever I'm feeling it, or like a certain script or whatever. And I've gotten a couple about Disney just because we grew up with a whole different set of Disney.
We sure did.
Than baby boomers or than millennials. Like we got this 70s to 80s dark Disney.
Yeah, we got the dark Disney, and there's something to be said for dark Disney.
I agree. There's some really great gems in there that only we know about because they've just been lost to time. Other than
all of
our
memories,
Disney
stuff is dark for some reason. I mean, like, who's my favorite Disney villain? Chernabog from Night on Bald Mountain.
Oh,
about as dark as you can get from Fantasia. The big demon at the end of Fantasia. Oh,
yep. So yeah. So I love me some Disney. So hopefully someday I'll get one of those done and post it. I've got so many videos, like 10% done, 70% done, 30% done. Like,
do we get the part 3 of the 90s?
That's what's coming. That's what I'm trying to get done. 1999 is such a big year that it's really become a challenge trying to get through it.
1999 was the craziest year
for movies. And the other thing is that this was a point in time when the youngest Gen Xers were graduating from high school and the oldest Gen Xers were in their early 30s. So there was like a whole different, our generation is so diverse at this time in their life experience and their age, and they're like, so we got high schoolers and we got people in their 30s. So it's like, it's so really, so there's so many different movies. There's the high school movies, like Can't Hardly Wait. Well, that's 98, but like American Pie was 99, which is a Zennial movie. And then you got Fight Club, and then you got The Matrix, and then you got like all these different movies that you can claim as Gen X.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars came back.
That's true.
Don't discount that, even though it wasn't that great of a Star Wars.
Right.
It was a big deal. I mean,
yeah, I remember. I was
to watch the preview.
I did news stories on it because I worked for a news station at the time, and I did news stories about people camping out and waiting to go, for the first screening and the first ticket sales and all that stuff. So I remember it well.
It was ridiculous because I gotta tell you something. I saw that movie 3 weeks before it opened.
Oh,
at a press. Yeah, I got to go to one of the first press screenings ever. Because my uncle worked for the Hollywood Reporter. So.
Oh, how cool!
I'm like, hell yeah!
Cool.
We go to the movies. People are lined up out in front. This was in Westwood.
Yep.
Lined up out in front in their Jedi robes and stuff. And we go to a completely different theater where it wasn't going to be playing. And we go see the movie. We had our phones confiscated, 1999, don't forget. And we had to sign NDAs and all sorts of stuff. And like, they knew who we were, They're like, we know who you are. If you write anything about this, you're screwed.
Right.
The whole 9 yards. Walked out of the movie theater and told people to go home. I'm like, oh my God, do not sit here for 3 more weeks. You're going to hate yourselves. I said, I just watched it. I'm a huge fan. Go home.
Go home. Go home. Go home. But anyways.
Once you watch this movie. And all I have is 3 words. Jar, jar, bakes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. 25 minutes into the stream. I think we're finally going to get to the book.
Let's do it.
All right. Good deal. Real fast. I'm going to say it one more time. Tonight's entry phrase is garden party. If you want to win a copy of Matthew and Gunner's book for this fall's book club. And that's it. That's all on that. Part 3,
garden
preparations.
The secret word is garden party.
Garden party. So, yep. So preparations. This is the very end of the book. We got 2 chapters left. So tonight and then next Tuesday, and then we'll be done. And moving on to 13th Gen. Or actually, we'll be doing a week of the 4th turning is here. And going through some of that. And then we'll get to 13th Gen for a couple of weeks. And then we'll get to Nelson. So, yeah. August will be our wrap-up time and 13th Gen time and good times. I can't believe it's almost August. This year is just flying by.
Don't get me started.
I know. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Chapter 11, preparing for the 4th turning. I'm going to read the first couple of pages of this chapter, and then we're going to start jumping through it. So let me get it big so we can all see it. All right. One quick reminder before we get started. This was written in 1997. It is from the perspective of a boomer in 1997. And so you have to remember they're still in the awakening. They're still in the 3rd turning. They don't know when the 4th turning is coming. And so this is their advice for what they think should be done on the country level by America, what should be done on the individual level, and also what should be done at the generational level to try to get through the 4th turning and the crisis as unscathed as possible. So we'll see what kind of recommendations they had for us. Here we go. Given the gravity of the coming secular winter, you may be asking, can anybody do anything about it?
Winter is coming.
Saith the preacher, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. In each of the 4 seasons of life and nature, there are things a person should and should not do. There is no single style of behavior, no one maxim of right living that is appropriate for all ages. The spring of life can be carefree. Its autumn should not be. With land, likewise, there is a time to sow, a time to reap, a time when almost anything will grow, a time when almost nothing will. If you expect acorns to fall in spring or tulips to bloom in autumn, you condemn yourself to frustration. The same principle, the same seasonal principle applies to the seculum. Cyclical time teaches you not just to accept the rhythms of history, but to look for ways to make use of them, to fulfill your role in those rhythms as best you can. It is an antidote to fatalism. I love this. If you wish to get more out of life or nature, you have the power to do that, but it takes work. You and your society have the power to influence history, but that takes work too. And always your efforts must be appropriate for the time. A common modern reaction is to seek to avoid harsh seasons altogether. Boy, that's the case. That is definitely true.
Oh, you whether mean like stick your head in the sand, yeah.
Yeah. Whether facing old age or winter, many of us look for a bridge or a wall or a cure. Anything that can keep unwanted seasons from interfering with our fixed purpose. That's the essence of linear thinking. If you follow that strategy, you had better be right. If not, you could find yourself totally flattened when times turn hard. The recent anxiety that America is on the wrong track reflects an unease with linear thinking and an instinctive sense that a secular winter is nearing. That instinct is sound, but seldom reflected by the popular prescriptions or paradigms. Is new thinking required? On the contrary, to prepare for the 4th turning, America needs old thinking. As with life or nature, the proper plan for the seculum is to move with, not against the seasons. We should participate in seasonal activities by taking advantage of the current turning. Avoid post-seasonal behavior by terminating habits that were appropriate for the prior turning but are not for the current one. Make pre-seasonal preparations by trying to anticipate the needs and opportunities of the next turning. Let's stop right there. How do we feel about this?
It's interesting because they're kind of treating it like it's a nebulous thing because we don't know what it is. So, like, how can we anticipate those needs? They're kind of not sure about this approach, but I'm definitely interested to see where they're going with it.
Yeah. I like this for me because the first thing is participate in seasonal activities. Understand understand the moment that you're in. We are not in the 90s, we are not in the 80s, we are not in the 60s, we are in the 2020s.
Right.
So, like, be aware of your current turning and take advantage as much as you can. Participate
I like that.
in the seasonal activities. So that one I like. Avoid post-seasonal behavior. I like this one too. By terminating habits that were appropriate for the prior turning but are not for the current one. And this is one that I struggle with very much so because I live in the third turning.
Yeah, we all do. And that's the thing. That's the part that is really that is the part that is the obviously it's not the most difficult because preparing is. But you know, really human beings, we are programmed to hate change. It's in nature. Because it's an instinctual fight or flight thing. And any type of change will always invoke a fight or flight response in most species that have any type of natural predator. And man always had natural predators up until we were smarter than all the other people. But that's beside the point. So,
but it's comfort. We've achieved comfort, and we
don't want to change. We don't want to, realign our current paradigms. And we don't want to acknowledge that the old paradigms that we were working under are no longer valid.
Right. Because
we feel like that somehow invalidates our previous actions and behaviors.
Right.
When in fact it does not do anything of the sort. It just lets you realize that those types of that type of behavior is no longer working, and you need to move forward.
And you can apply it to your individual life or to the culture at large, because what I did in my 20s is not going to work for me as to what I do in my 40s. And everything from what brings me joy to what brings me pain to what brings me, what kind of, just anything, just your seasons of life are the same as the seasons of your country and the turnings of your country. And so, to think that's why it gets frustrating when you see boomers like LARPing their days of the 60s. It's like, this is not the 60s. This is the 2020s.
I hate to say that. That was 40 years ago.
50, and like
years ago, people.
Yeah, like the circumstances have changed, the time has changed, and to recognize that and understand that is that, first of all, participate in the current season. Second of all, ditch the previous season behavior. But then we get to the third one here: make pre-seasonal preparations by trying to anticipate the needs and opportunities of the next turning. We know the first turning this is a tough one. We know the first turning is coming. Yeah. We know it'll be here in 5-10 years or something along those lines. And you've got to be able to anticipate that and kind of, these are the outcomes we could get. These are the ways that we could go. And as we go along, it's just more forward thinking and not being so presentism, and
the cognizance of being even aware that there is going to be a fourth turning is in of itself preparing.
Yes.
Because just even acknowledging that these turnings exist and that it's going to happen regardless of whether or not you have prepared or not, that is preparation in of itself, because your awareness opens your mind up.
Yeah.
95% of human beings out here are not going to even realize that there is this cycle of turnings that are happening.
Right.
75% of the people don't even understand that there's generational cohorts who don't agree with generational theory.
Right.
Don't agree with generational theory half the time. So
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the fact that you're aware of it, that you're actually taking proactive steps, puts you so far ahead of the curve, and really allows those of us who are, let's just call us enlightened, to really shape the first turning.
It does.
I think that's what this whole exercise should be about, is learning how to shape the next turning, learning how to survive the fourth turning and shape the next turning so that it's a positive experience for as many people as possible.
Because
that's my philosophy. It might not be anyone else's, but that's kind of my
well, and they say this here. They put a lot of onus on the Gen X generation in this cycle because and we're going to get to it about
the
importance. Yeah, we're the ones in midlife, we're elevating to power.
Yep.
We're going to be elevated to power and at the peak of our power over the next 10 years, as far as our ability to, change things, lead things, whatever it is. And so we're kind of the leaders here going in from the fourth to the first. We are the leaders, to be honest. And so knowing and understanding that this is happening, the awareness is good, and that awareness can affect the decisions you make, the news you consume, the the way you live your life, because it's not all about what's just happening now. You can see that things are coming down the road, and you understand that we're in a cycle, and what is now may not be in 5 years, 10 years, or the things from the past that we always relied on might not be the things that will move us through.
The things in the past are always that's the one thing you can make sure you can rely on, is that the things in the past will not be available to be relied on in the future, because it will break everything down eventually. Even clearly it doesn't matter how well something is made, it's going to break down eventually. And consumer society, consumer society, we used to make products that last. We don't anymore. We
planned obsolescence.
Planned obsolescence, repair shops, that kind of stuff. Those technologies have gone by the wayside because we became a disposable society.
Right. And consumer driven.
Consumer-driven, disposable society. And so, in order to move forward, we have to, we got to get rid of the nihilistic part. And unfortunately, where we're at in terms of humanity, it is literally going to take something that is bigger than all of us to make us come together to start doing things that are for the greater good rather than for our own individual selfishness. There's right now, there's so few people who are actually interested in working for the greater good. Would you agree? I mean, I think most people, there's a certain sect of people who are always going to be very, working towards people like your Mother Teresa's of the, well, she's not a great person, but people who are who should be sainted, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of right now, but you know who I'm talking about. There aren't that many of those kind of people left, and so we get people who all of our leaders have. Doesn't matter who they are. All of our leaders have a hidden agenda. Every damn.
Oh yes. Of course.
And there, not a single leader in this entire world is altruistic. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes, altruistic. So, as altruism dies, it behooves the rest of us to try to take up a little bit of that mantle and be less selfish. In our own, little in our own little worlds. But
yeah,
I could be wrong. I could be off base. I don't know.
No, I don't think you're off base. I think that we're in a situation to where we even have to define what greater good means anymore. Like for who? For what?
Sure.
For for
there
the globe,
is no.
for
You're
your
right.
country, for
there
your
is
community.
there is no real. Unfortunately, that is true. But I do think it. I think it can be. I think it can be again. But as I said, unfortunately, I think it's going to take some, massive event that happens that is beyond all of us.
Yes.
We can't even foresee what it's going to be.
No.
That's what's going to bring us all together, whether that is a natural disaster, a pandemic, some
alien
sort of
invasion,
almost
an
hoping for that.
economic collapse. Yeah.
I keep dreaming that there's like an alien invasion force off the coast of Los Angeles. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just, prophesizing, but
yeah, but this book, if you go by the theory of this book, yes, something big is coming, and we know something big is coming, and something is going to shift the tide of whatever it is. Something is going to cause some kind of consensus in some way, and but you don't know which side. And we're gonna let's get into this next part, moving with the seasons, and
personally, I would love it if they just found water on Mars. That would be
that would be crazy.
I would do it.
Moving with the seasons. So let's get farther into this idea. To be seasonal, America should take maximum advantage of the current unraveling. So this, again, we're in the 90s. At any phase of life, a person can attend to its needs and engage in its pleasures well or badly. Middle age can be the prime of life or a disappointment. Autumn can be a season of bounty and beauty or of waste and decay. Much as we can experience a good or bad midlife or autumn, a person or society can have a good or bad unraveling. And again, back in the 90s, this is certainly the case today. The diversity and complexity of 90s era America are thrilling when intelligently explored. The popular culture at its best is astoundingly creative. New personal technologies are challenging, exciting, and broadly affordable, lending unprecedented access to every crevice of human knowledge, culture, and experience. Travel to distant lands is relatively safe and broadly permitted. Persons with talent and market leverage can earn and keep enormous sums of money. The economy offers vast quantities of interesting things to consume. We should enjoy and harness all that while we can, because much of it will be less available or feel less pleasurable in the fourth turning. I thought that was very.
Can you imagine
prescient.
Things being less available? That would just.
Oof. Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm just hearkening back to some of the supply problems that we had during COVID, when some things were affected, some things weren't. Some places were affected, some places weren't.
Yeah. And that was a result of having everything so globally sourced, and these huge supply chains that we have.
Supply chains are out of control.
Yeah, right.
Out of control. The supply chains are crazy.
Yeah.
Logistics, just the stuff that when the amount of effort that it takes to get the products to you.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on a desk covered in toys.
Right.
And I'm looking at going, every one of these toys was manufactured overseas in Japan, or probably China, and
with material sourced who knows where.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, but this is how people in other countries make their money. And I'm helping keep people, employed overseas.
Yeah, but with that kind of a setup of a global economy, the weaknesses are exposed when bad things happen, and that's what happened as well. And another thing with things being less available, I was reading this post a couple of days ago about this company that is buying up all of these books on the written page, all of these books, and they're scanning them into AI and then destroying the original books. And so we're losing a lot of and it could be just it could be as things as basic as an instruction manual for some tech that's outdated. So it's not like it's a masterpiece of literature or anything.
No,
but
we're
literally.
But those are things that should be saved and should be available.
Right. Yeah.
And I do know. I've heard of a more recent trend of people actually working on how-to manuals on how to do very, very basic things that are designed for after the apocalypse, when everybody is dead, this is how you're going to survive. Kind of
right.
You're going to have an encyclopedia that you can say, how do I make drinking water? There you go. I mean, that to me is smart. Keeping, scanning books into the Internet Archive, bellissima. I love it. I love the fact that we can I
Well,
want
they're
to be
scanning
able
it
to
into
that.
AI for
But
the AI to
yes,
learn.
no, I don't give a crap about that. I think
Yeah, but
that's
it's the
awful.
destruction of the original
And it's
text
the
and
destruction
things.
of the original
That's
work
what bothers
that bothers me to no end. Eventually, these books are going to go away anyway because they are biodegradable. Most of them,
Mhm.
they're paper. It's
Right.
going to go away eventually. They're not, but we don't need to hasten that, and people still need to frickin' read.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there have been, there's knowledge has been passed down for centuries, and we've
Yeah.
just got to find a good way of keeping that alive and not rewriting history with trying to delete certain things or forget certain, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we can't afford to have another library of Alexandria happen.
Right.
We can't.
Exactly.
And let's face it, we don't have so much knowledge because that was destroyed. Because knowledge was physically, we already know what happens when knowledge is destroyed. We don't know what happened between, 300 and 1100? We don't know.
The Dark Ages, so-called.
We know some things happened. 1066.
Right.
We know what happened in 780. We don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. But yeah,
it's crazy. Fix those old manuals. Yeah.
Yeah. At the same
I need a
time.
typewriter myself.
Yeah. Oh, a typewriter. I need one of those. At the same time, there is plenty to guard against. Diversity is producing new racial enclaves. The pop culture at its worst is violent and debasing. New technologies are eroding traditional human interactions, manners, and civic duties. But they were on point with that one.
Oh, yeah.
New technologies eroding traditional human interactions, manners, and civic duties. That's a big sentence.
Right. They got that right.
Yep. The gap between rich and poor is daunting.
Yep.
They were saying that in 97.
I know.
America consumes more than it produces and goes ever more deeply into debt. We should avoid and control these excesses now. Whoops. While realizing that society will address them more fundamentally in the fourth turning.
Yeah. We're definitely going to have to reassess a lot of our current behaviors going forward, because we are creating a cohort of children who are going to be absolutely worthless.
I know. And it's sad. It's scary.
And we already have a cohort of children, of young adults who are almost there. I mean, Gen Z is not
severely
ready to do
damaged.
anything.
Yeah.
And Gen Alpha, they could turn around, but I don't think they're gonna.
And I think this is a big part of the burden of our generation to try to guide and help these kids, because I mean, how are they going to be able to function in society?
They can't. They can't.
If they can't even read,
they can. Having a Gen Z kid, I am the parent. I'm the failed parent of a Gen Z kid. I will acknowledge that my kid is not ready to be independent. They are working on their life skills, but I will also say this: my kid has had a education and childhood like no other in this last 100 years. The COVID affected my kid more than anything I've seen.
Yes, I think it did to the whole. I think it did to the whole generation. It is brutal, and we need to have a reckoning on this, because
there's gonna be. It's coming. It's coming.
Yes.
They will when they are it's gonna happen in about another 5 years, 5 to 10 years, once the Gen Zs hit 25 to 30, and they have some real buying power and some real some starting to have some power and some you're going to start to see some real interesting takes on what happened during COVID from those who were there. I'm really interested to see the media that comes out of that, especially the television, the films that come out of these Gen Z kids. I want to see what they're going to come up with. And I think that the TikToks and the blipverts, I like to call them blipverts because that's what they are. From Max Headroom, this stuff could have a positive impact moving forward, because it could basically strip everything down to the essential need to know kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that in our society could be beneficial. We bloviate on everything like we're doing now. We bloviate on this book. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
We don't know how to, we as Gen Xers, boomers especially, but even millennials, we talk about things to ad nauseum. We don't get to the point. So let's get to the point.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. To avoid being post-seasonal, America should stop awakening era behavior.
Yeah.
In midlife, a person is expected to relinquish youth.
Yes.
The maxim act your age applies to middle-aged people who behave in ways that might be all right for younger people, but not for them. And our country, I think, is is very guilty of this. We are still living in an awakening era behavior. Our government is anyway in their spending.
The government is definitely the government definitely acts like a teenager. We as adults, as middle-aged folks, it's hard for us to not want to act like kids because, who doesn't want to have that freedom and stuff? We want to go back to the 90s because we enjoyed it so much.
Right.
But I can't drink like that anymore, and I can't do those drugs anymore because my body can't take it, and I can't find them, and they're too expensive.
Right.
And they might kill me now with
yeah. And our country can't take this behavior just from the politicians, the spending, the just, it's just like all of that was fun in the 80s and 90s. We cannot do that anymore. Like we have got, but the thing is, once you start trying to say, hey, we need to change this. Hey, we need to stop this. Hey, we've got to totally rethink this.
I'm going to tell you.
No.
No one is. There is not going to be a politician elected in the midterms who runs on a austerity campaign. Let me tell you.
No. We are going to get such extremes, but it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild to see the directions that this goes. But the America we grew up in, that they keep trying to spend like that and act like that, and it's just we're not there anymore. We got to make some changes.
Tax the billionaires.
Yeah.
Tax the rich.
Oh, let's not go there.
Tax everybody. Tax nobody. Anarchy.
There you go. Tax no one. There you go.
Let's have everything be pay by play.
To be pre-seasonal, America should prepare now for the fourth turning. Well, we're a little late for that, so let's go ahead and get past that. Let's move on down. The unraveling era prior to the Civil War illustrates how a society can fail to act pre-seasonally, which we definitely failed to act pre-seasonally in this current fourth turning. Through the 1840s and 50s, the moral preachings of midlife transcendentals went beyond fixing families and protecting children to trying to win old arguments dating back to the 1830s, their equivalent of the 60s. Transcendental opinion kept polarizing North and South with little hint of a common values agenda. Politicians pursued what was quite literally a linear path of procedural compromise as the slavery debate extended due westward from Missouri to Kansas to the Pacific. Meanwhile, spiritualists accelerated the linear Christian path fervently, proclaiming that the second coming was near, just as they did in 1844 when hundreds of thousands of Millerites donned ascension robes and climbed hills and rooftops to receive the Lord. By the late 1850s, aging fanatics of all stripes parlayed their awakening era passions into apocalyptic preachings. Thus did the Transcendentals take political and military action that many presumed would right all wrongs and prepare for Christ's rule. Riding under the pro-seasonal banner of the prior awakening, the Civil War's great champion rode early, rode hard, and rode destructively.
That's something we haven't had in a while. A good cult.
Yes.
I mean, what has it been since Waco? Oh, wait. Maybe that's why we haven't had it.
Yeah.
Moving on. I'm just here to provide comic levity.
I like that. I'll allow it. I love comedy. All right. In recent years, many Americans have despaired that their nation no longer produces leaders who can galvanize and inspire. Yet it is the turning, not the nation, that elevates great people to the apex of power. Ooh, let's stop right there. Yeah. It is the turning not the nation, that elevates great people to the apex of power. And that's kind of what I'm waiting for here in this fourth turning, is what is this turning going to, who is this turning going to elevate? Who are these people that they're going to elevate to this apex of power? Because I don't think we have it yet from our generation.
I have been watching some things that are going on in Congress lately, and not to get too political, but there are some very young Congress people on both sides who are getting very upset and very loud. And they are really starting to ask some questions that they're not getting answers to, and they're getting pissed off.
Yep, on both sides. Yes.
On both sides.
Yeah.
And I am definitely seeing I'm very optimistic towards the younger, maybe not even our Gen X. I think it's going to be some millennials. There's a couple of millennials, and again, I don't want to go into the weeds, but there's a couple of them I have my eye on right now that are really going to, I believe, are really going to have a huge impact going forward. And for the first time in years, I'm actually very, very optimistic. So take that for what it's worth. It's going to be.
They're going to get more extreme. Both sides are going to get more extreme. It's going to happen.
I disagree with that, because I don't think it can get more extreme than it has been. I think it's actually going to get, I believe that it's actually going to get a little more gentlemanly between the parties. I believe that. I believe that we're going to start to see some more compromises. And the reason I do believe that is because we are so close to violence in this country. I don't think anybody wants it. And I think clearer heads, especially younger, clearer heads, are going to meet in the middle. That's what I hope. That's what I hope. But I hope I'm not wrong. I'm really trying to be a voice of reason, a voice of, let's not get into the, individual antagonistics. Let's work together.
Right.
Because it's not going to be good if we don't. I mean, what the alternative is civil war violence. If we don't, that's what's going to happen. If we don't pay attention, it's going to happen. Nobody wants that. Except for the people who do.
Right.
And if they really do, we're not going to be able to stop them. That's what worries me.
I know.
That's what worries me more than anything, is that there's groups on both sides who don't really care and do want a civil war. I know.
And that's, that's what I'm concerned about too. And
on any side is a bad thing. Too far left, too far right, both sides. That's nowhere near good.
Right. And we can agree on that. Yes.
I mean, that's one thing I learned in Political Science 101. Nothing gets done. Everybody's on a spectrum. Things get done when you're in the middle.
Right.
Things do not get done on either end. That's when you go to fascism.
Mm-hmm. Samantha Schulover, can you give examples of past turnings? So the past fourth turnings that we've had are the big events. The last one was World War II, the Depression and World War II. Those were the fourth turning crisis of that era. Before that, it was the Civil War. Before that was American Revolution.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and before that, it was the events, the Glorious Revolution that brought the Europeans to America. So the fourth turning is always a major, huge event with a crisis. It's always, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but if you just listen to all of our examples,
most violence.
It's always very violent, and it's a big, great war of some kind. So that's the worry. And I hope if we can somehow go the route that you're talking about, Grendelson, I am not convinced that we're going to get there. But who knows? I mean, anything's up in the air at this point. Like the
rest of this year is going to be so critical about, the next couple of months are going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. They already have been crazy. I mean, where's Mitch McConnell? I'm just saying, this is general shit. Where the hell is he?
It's so frustrating.
And Lindsey Graham's dead.
I know. And it doesn't feel like our Congress is really doing anything. And it's Congress
isn't doing squat.
I know, and it's so maddening. So, but yeah, it's
They're sitting there
wild.
going, we're gonna.
I know.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah,
Yep.
no.
It's wild. It's wild.
It's wild. But then if you listen and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
No, Edward is right. The pot is boiling, and we're waiting for someone to either turn off the heat or take off the lid to release the pressure.
And we really need to, release the pressure or turn off the heat. And I do believe, like I said, I think both of those are coming. I saw a lot of good things happening during World Cup. I really did. I felt like there was a turning happening during the World Cup. There was something good happening throughout the country, especially here. Anywhere where there were games, it was really nice to be around. Mm-hmm. We're going to get the Olympics in a couple of years. That's going to be wild for us here in LA.
Yeah.
And are we ready? No. But I was here in '84 for that Olympics, and it went great. So
yeah. I think 20, like you said, the rest of this year is going to be brutal, but honestly, 27 into the 28 is going to be, it's going to be, these next 2 years, guys, are going to be so eventful. They're going to be writing about this in the history books forever. We are living through an insanely historical time, and what we're about to witness, we can't even fathom.
I can't wait to release my book in 25 years.
Yeah.
Musings of an aging Gen Xer.
I like it.
I was born 5 years before the bicentennial.
Right. Let's see.
That was Edward just brought up a great point. Can we talk about that for just 1 second? People coming from overseas, extolling the virtues of what we have to offer and bringing that back overseas.
Oh yeah.
That is going to bring us more goodwill than anything our government has done recently.
Right. And it also exposed how the media's narrative globally has really affected people's perceptions of the world, of other countries, of their government, because there's a reason all of those Europeans and people from all these other countries had these ideas in their head before they got here. And so, but it was really great to see that. And I've been watching a lot of videos of people that came over and visited, and people, Europeans that are reacting to it. And like, it's been interesting to
something
watch.
Similar happened in 96 in Athens, even though there was some issues there. That was a good, well done games. People were very, very happy with the outcomes. It had, Muhammad Ali's last bounds. People came over and they were pretty happy with the games, if I remember correctly. Salt Lake City, it wasn't quite as, but, that kind of stuff has a big effect. And a World Cup, that's, bigger than anything. The World Cup is the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah. For the rest of the world. We just happen to be involved in it this time.
It's the biggest thing in the world.
Well, I know, but we don't give a rat's ass.
We don't give a shit back
when we're not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't participate usually. So as far as like paying attention to it.
Right.
But so let's move on here. It's the turning, not the nation, that elevates great people to the apex of power. Lincoln and FDR are both cases in point. Both had to wait for the crisis to hit. And unraveling is an era when most people of intelligence, vision, and integrity do not seek, much less get elected to high public offices. So that's back in the 90s. We'll move on here. Where do I want to go? So I want to get into the turning. We don't need to go through all of their unraveling stuff. You okay over there? You take a big hit? Come the fourth turning, America.
Oh, my Gen Z just showed up.
Ah.
Hi, Gen Z. Oh, what did you get? Ooh.
They shipped it
by itself.
This. No box.
No box.
No box?
No box. It's a Royal High doll.
Oh.
Wow.
They should have with no box. Wow.
No box. Just
against the rules.
On the thing.
That's weird when people do that.
If he was a collector, he'd be pissed.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's not mint in box.
Right.
Bastard.
That's against the law. That's against toy law.
It's against culture law. But then again, so is opening your toys, and I did that. I
That's
did that
true.
all the time.
I'm planning on opening this.
Please do. Yes,
All
okay.
right.
And get the code.
Come the fourth turning, America will need both personal sacrifice and public authority. The seculum will favor whichever party moves more quickly and persuasively toward a paradigm that accommodates both. Both parties should lend seasonality to their thinking. Democrats, a concept of civic duty that limits the harvest. Republicans, a concept of civic authority that limits the scattering. If they do not, the opportunity will arise for a third party to fill the void, after which one or both of today's two dominant parties could go the way of the Whigs.
I wish.
I think it probably will happen. History warns that when a crisis catalyzes, a previously dominant political party or regime can find itself directly blamed for perceived mistakes that led to the national emergency. Whoever holds power when the fourth turning arrives could join the unlucky roster of the circa 1470 Lancastrians, circa 1570 Catholics, circa 1680 Stuarts, circa 1770 Tories, circa 1860 Democrats, and circa 1929 Republicans. That party could find itself out of power for a generation. Key persons associated with it could find themselves defamed, stigmatized, harassed, economically ruined, personally punished, or worse.
I understood more of those premise. I should have.
All right.
I'm like, oh yeah, Lancasters. They went to the Tudors. Tudors, yeah, they went.
Yeah. How America should prepare. Okay.
What should we do? What should
we have done these past 20 years, guys, or these past 18 years? Complaints about the loss of civic virtue date back to the dawn of civilization. The most eloquent commentaries on the ideal of personal sacrifice to the community, whether a polis, a kingdom, or a superpower nation, typically arise just when people see the ideal slipping away.
Yes,
that much is well known.
Yeah, we read a lot of Greek. I read a lot of Greek stuff in my day. Yeah, they did.
Yep. What's less, that much is well known. What's less well known is this. Such complaints nearly always specify that the steepest loss is of relatively recent origin. Read any of the great moralists, from Cicero and Cato the Elder to Burke and Bolingbroke, and notice how they all harken back to a time within living memory when civic giants strode the earth. American Jeremiads on declining public spirit, whether voiced by Daniel Webster or Ross Perot, never identified the lost paragon with any era further back than the critic's own childhood. If civic virtue is so frequently lost, it must be just as frequently regained. This is what happens in a fourth turning. While a crisis mood renders society's newlies desperate, it also renders them newly capable, which is why a secular winter is to be welcomed as much as feared. As today's Americans look ahead, the challenge is to marshal the coming season's new public energies to achieve positive, not destructive ends. The better we ready ourselves collectively, the more likely we will be not just to survive the crisis, but to apply its fury for good and humane purposes. To prepare for the fourth turning, America can apply the lessons of seasonality. That doesn't seem right. It should be seasonality.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, the following suggestions distinguish between actions that the nation can act on now in the unraveling and those that are simply not possible before the crisis catalyzes. Prepare values, forge the consensus, and uplift the culture, but don't expect near-term results.
Yeah, we didn't do none of that.
No, we went the opposite way here.
Oh, we sure did. Yeah. No.
Here,
Unified culture? What is that?
But yeah, here
this culture.
This paragraph here is very
Wow.
telling. America's culture warriors need not worry whether values will return to public life. They always do in a fourth turning with a vengeance. Speeches will become public sermons, schools, civic churches, and art motivational propaganda. The open questions are: which values will reign, and whether America's cultural consensus will be broad and imaginative enough to avoid a destructive polarization as the nation fights for its survival. People on all sides of the culture wars should cultivate pragmatic alliances with niches possessing competing visions. Americans of all generations should work to elevate moral and cultural standards. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what we're not doing.
Yeah, that's what we're not doing. But
that is the critical thing that we are not doing as a divided people is we are not able to see the other side. I mean, I'm even thinking about it right now. I'm just like, trying to, because, we're both on this. We don't want this fourth turning to get violent.
Right.
And the question is, which values are going to reign? And I know
that's the
that
question.
we both have a different idea of which values should reign.
Yeah. And we also live in completely different worlds, even though we're both Americans.
See, but now I'm trying to be of that mindset, though, that there is a world and there is a country where both of us can have everything that we want because of the vast differences in our areas, in our society, and in our culture. But we don't have to, we can have those differences without devaluing the others.
Yes. And those differences have to be allowed from each side. Cutting people off or not talking to someone or not wanting to work with someone or not wanting to be in the same room with someone that doesn't agree with you. That shit's got to stop. Like, I don't know why, it seems like I used to be able to hang out with all kinds of people of all kinds of political persuasions and cultural ideas, and that didn't mean we couldn't hang out. We couldn't be Americans. We couldn't discuss issues. But we've become so polarized. People aren't talking.
We got real polarized, and while you're in this polarization, it's difficult to see that instead of a plus minus situation, it's just a series of it's not a positive or negative. It is a spectrum,
right? Where
we should be in the middle rather than on the ends.
Right.
The ends are the plus and the minus. The ends are the 1 and the 0. We should all meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And that's not happening. And it's incumbent. And the thing is like, I feel like it's incumbent on individuals like you and me to try and just, work together and form these bonds that are going to transcend, party lines.
Right. Yeah. And I really hate the media for this, because I really feel like our media system has just cultivated this atmosphere and this like,
did our media system do that, or did we do it to ourselves? Because let me posit this.
Okay.
We have at our fingertips access to any media we want from around the world, around the globe. We can get any type of media we want. So do we, as a person or as an individual, do you try to grab all the different media sources that you can and parse what you can do? Or do you stick to the ones that you know and trust without, experiencing anything else? Basically, I believe we have turned ourselves into an echo chamber. And so we only listen to the things that we want to listen to. We're not interested in hearing things that go against our own personal beliefs and opinions.
Right.
And that's where the breakdown has come.
Yes. And I think the tech companies have cultivated that. Yeah.
But I think it's also incumbent on, I think it's a failing of the human as a general. I think it's something that's out of our control. I don't think it's something we do on a rational basis. I don't think you choose to do this. I think it's just because that's human nature. That's how we are. This is how we have evolved. This is all part of our evolution as people, as animals. We're evolving into the next form of who we are.
We are. And I would just posit that mass media and the estate of journalism has had an impact on human nature and human experience that we've
Sure.
never seen before. And
Right. Maybe because we have access to everything.
yeah,
We have to very narrow our own focus in order not to be overwhelmed.
right,
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm trying to say, is that
right,
it's not something that is a judgment issue. This is just kind of how I see it,
Right.
and how, it affects us. And it's just kind of explaining where we're at. It's kind of a different take on it. Not to say that what you're saying, that the media has declined. We have become, everybody has their own specific channel, and you can listen to whatever you want. Clearly, there's
like
bias in
it
every
feels
channel.
like there's no truth. There's no.
Yeah. Well, because
know-
but again, I mean, what is the truth? We could go back to Socrates and ask, what is the truth?
Right.
The
Yeah.
truth, what you see is the truth, and what I see is the truth. We could be watching two exact same things, and you can see two different things that happen. Eyewitness accounts are the least valid form of evidence.
It is
in juries.
I would, but there's I feel like there are
comes back to
foundational
the-
truths that to for any society, for any any group of people that you put together and try to have a government and try to have a society, you have to have some foundational truths, or else you can't function ultimately. If we're both watching the same movie but coming away with different interpretations, different truths,
Sure.
our country cannot function that way ultimately, because it's just hard, and this comes with being in a free society and having freedom to educate yourself and to develop your own opinions and your own thoughts and your own beliefs. And when you have 350 million different belief structures or moral standards or truths,
Or
how do you have a government? How do you have a society? How do you have a culture? And these are things that I'm sure have been questions throughout time. We're just in a very different state with mass media and communication the way it is. So
we have an unprecedented level of communication and connectivity, and it's an unprecedented level of globalization. Whether you hate that word or not, that is exactly where we are at.
Yep.
And the fact that we are so interconnected, you had people 100 years ago who never left their own town and who never probably met anybody outside of the 1,000 people in their own area.
I would say today, 99% of humanity up until about 100 years ago.
Okay. So,
didn't leave their, And
today, you and I are talking on opposite sides of the country, and we probably have we might have people from all over the world listening in to us.
Right.
So it's an unprecedented level of technology. It's an unprecedented level of communication, and we're always going to have we're going to have issues on how we parse that and how we make it work for us. And there are going to be fumbles along the way, and there are going to be, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to screw things up, and eventually, hopefully, we'll get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people said that, listen, people to television was addicting in the 60s.
Yep.
People said that radio was terrible in the 20s.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean it's always that
Edison thing with the phonograph. Ooh, that was devil's music.
That printing press, that Gutenberg was a real. People could actually get information and knowledge on their own.
Print something and say that, and people will actually believe it.
Yeah. All right. Up next, what else does America have to do? Prepare institutions. Clear the debris and find out what works, but don't try building anything big. We didn't do any of that. Let's move on. Prepare politics. Define challenges bluntly and stress duties over rights, but don't attempt reforms that can't now be accomplished.
Yeah, we didn't do that either.
No. I feel like we're all about rights, but duties seem to get lost in the conversation. Prepare society. Require community teamwork to solve local problems, but don't try this on a national scale. I would really love to try to do more of this, and maybe we will see it, but I don't know. but community teamwork to solve local problems. I mean, I like the idea of smaller locales. I mean, trying to do a one size fits all anything for a nation of our size is an exercise in futility almost, because again, we live in two different worlds.
America is dying.
Yeah.
And I it's difficult for me to have I've never lived in small town America, so it's sad to see, and it does make me sad, but I don't know what can be done to save it, if it is even savable.
Yeah.
It may not be.
No. Well, I mean,
I wish it would be, but
well, yeah. I mean, I think it's a tough one, because
I don't know if other countries have the same kind of issue, because they're not. I wonder, like places like Australia, that are very, very large and have small communities. I wonder if their small towns are dying too.
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, China, I understand. Their villages are dying out as well, because people are moving to the cities and moving towards the industry.
Right.
I know Japan has a birth rate issue, so
yeah. Small towns are very predominantly middle class, and without a middle class, you have no small towns. And
as you become more and more urbanized, we have no more middle class.
Right.
Yeah. But unfortunately, as we become a more and more industrialized, but more technologically based, we are going to become more and more urbanized until it is just nothing but domes and cities.
God, I hope not. That sounds awful.
Oh, we won't be alive to see that.
Yeah.
We won't be alive to see that. Don't worry about it. Yeah. You'll never, in our lifetime, we'll never have a domed city. That'll never happen. We won't have flying cars. We won't get our teleporters. We won't get that. We got our communicators. We got our pads. We got our, computers. But,
I think it's possible that we see new cities pop up and sprout. And because we have a lot of our major cities are decaying and dying. So I don't see.
That would be interesting. I know there was a couple of, I know in the Middle East, they've tried to do, there is at least one, Dubai. Dubai didn't exist, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't exist.
It was a sand bank. Yeah.
There's another couple. I know somebody's tried to make a couple. I'd be very interested to see that. I'm very interested to see purpose-built communities that are more commune than community, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Oh, I don't know about all that. But, I mean, I can see if
I see more purpose-built communities for people getting old, like
that's true.
Like that place, like that movie. What was that show that got canceled? The Burrow
show. Oh, I don't watch modern TV, so I don't know. There was a show about like an older, like a senior community type of a thing.
Yeah. It was like a horror show from the Duffer people. It was they moved. It was a senior community, planned community where everything was taken care of, and all sorts of stuff. But then there was an alien or something.
Gotcha.
I only watched like 2 episodes and got bored.
Yeah, I would love to see some of our cities have a rebirth, and so that's one thing that I really think I would really like to see in the first turning, and it is a rebuilding of our infrastructure, of our cities, of our our different transportation systems, and just all of that stuff. I would love to see revitalization efforts in the different states and the different cities across the country.
We should have had monorails across the nation. You know what I'm saying?
Across the nation?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Grendelson.
Come on, now. Why couldn't we have a monorail that goes from
Have you ever driven through, I don't know, eastern Kansas, western Kansas? You cannot. That's like, I understand the need for monorails or any kind of, fast rail or whatever in cities and in California, but trying to put something like that in a rural state. high speed rail in, oh my god, yeah, like try to get that through the Rocky Mountains or the Smoky Mountains or the
Oh yeah. Yes,
there's
so.
just no way. But I'm all for it in more populated areas, and I totally get it. But like across country, it just
Well, we built trains once, didn't we?
we did. Yeah, Western Kansas is a slog.
No, I have yet to have the experience of driving cross country.
Oh, you should do a cross country road trip someday.
The longest I can drive is maybe 12 hours.
But you could do that.
We drove from LA to Salt Lake City once. That was a nightmare.
Oh, really? I did that a few times when I lived in Salt Lake. I drove out to LA and back.
Yeah, no, we did it once nonstop, and that was a nightmare. I wouldn't do it nonstop again. It was every time after that, it was we're stopping. I can't do this.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Especially once you get into Utah.
I live in an area where a road trip of 4 to 5 hours somewhere, or a cross country trip of 12, 15, 20, 25 hours. Do it. Let's do it. Let's have a good time. we are road trippers where I'm from.
You're doing a 12-hour trip and you're still in the same state. Yeah.
Yep, I've done that before in Texas. Yep, good times. All right, up next, what should we do? Prepare youth. Treat children as the nation's highest priority, but don't do their work for them.
I tried that. It didn't work. No,
we are going to have to
do their work for them, but then that requires you to, let me tell you something. Raising a kid is not easy. And
no, it's not.
Parsing the school system now is infuriating.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
I noped out halfway through. I was like, nope. I'm not dealing.
Yeah,
I said, your education, not mine. I got my education.
Yeah.
Okay? You're on your own. You make of it what you're going to do.
Yeah.
If you need to drop out and get your GED, that's what you're going to do. But
yeah. I took mine out of school, and I homeschooled them to finish.
I had him on computer school.
Yep.
And that was better for him. But
yes, yeah, we definitely had a much better time with homeschooling.
Yeah, and all of that was after COVID. None of it happened before COVID. Before COVID, he was going to school and he was fine. He had issues, but he was fine. But after COVID, everything broke down.
Again, we're gonna see the fallout from that for the next 10, 20 years.
100%. Eastbound and down.
But this is definitely one thing as Gen Xers that we need to keep in mind over the next 10, 15 years as we assume the seat of power in government and business and everywhere else.
Well, yeah, but we're not going to be in charge of children anymore, really. I mean,
but you can make policies for, again, this would be something that people would cry about, but maybe we should actually think about changing Social Security and doing something better for our children to where they're not paying into a system that's going to be broke, so things like that. We can make policies to treat kids as our priority to set them up for the future instead of just spending into oblivion and giving them the bill. So, that's where I think that we can, treat children as a priority.
I agree.
So, anyway,
but I agree.
It'd be nice.
It'd be lovely.
Yep. Prepare elders. Tell future elders they will need to be more self-sufficient, but don't attempt deep cuts in benefits to current elders. This goes along the same lines of what I just said. Yeah. So, bring your focus more to the children than to your elders. And Gen X will get the brunt of that. We will get the short end of the stick on that, but these are things that, we could do to prepare our kids and grandkids for a country that is solvent,
Well, we should just, we're used to grabbing our socks.
Prepare the economy. Let's just move on. Prepare the defense. Expect the worst and prepare to mobilize, but don't pre-commit to any one response. I guess we can do that. All right, let's get to the prospect that as a nation we we might not prepare makes it all the more important for individuals to prepare on their own. All right. Individuals, what you can do, how you should prepare. Reflect on what happens when a terrible winter blizzard strikes. You hear the weather warning, but probably fail to act on it. The sky darkens, then the storm hits with full fury, and the air is a howling whiteness. One by one, your links to the machine age break down. Electricity flickers out, cutting off the TV, batteries fade, cutting off the radio, phones go dead, roads become impassable, and cars get stuck. Food supplies dwindle. Day-to-day vestiges of modern civilization, bank machines, mutual funds, mass retailers, computers, satellites, airplanes, governments, all recede into irrelevance. The storm strips you bare, reducing your world to a small number of elemental forces, some bad, others good. On the bad side are the elements of nature. On the good are whatever scraps of social cohesion you can muster, from your own family's survival skills to neighbors who pitch in and share, to a family who lends you a truck-mounted plow because you once helped them out in a pinch. Picture yourself and your loved ones in the midst of a howling blizzard that lasts for several years. Think about what you would need, who could help you, and why your fate might matter to anybody other than yourself. This is how to plan for a secular winter.
So basically, binge watch every episode of The Walking Dead and get ready. Because that's what's going to happen. And if you don't like The Walking Dead, try Fallout. That's pretty good.
Yep.
You know, any of the post-apocalyptic shows will give you a primer on how to get ready for the fourth turning.
Yeah.
I suggest you watch them all and get ready. And that
Right.
does mean and that does mean exercising your Second Amendment rights.
Yes.
But that also means
100%.
stockpiling food and shelter and having a plan for when the S hits the fan, because it will.
This has been a big one in my world. You know, making sure you have a water source, a generator, you know, a power source, making, you know, and you know, food storage, and just doing things in my own life, just trying to make sure, you know, while I'm making money, you know, paying for, make sure my debts are paid off, and make sure I got, you know, the things that I need. So if I don't have money coming in, you know, make sure I have what I need to get by. And
get yourself there's a 72-hour kit you can get. They're pretty cheap. You know, get yourself one of those, stash it somewhere, and then also have they have a 90-day food supply. It comes in a 5-gallon bucket. You know, get one of those. Change it out every couple of years. Make sure you have your, you know, make sure you have a go bag. You know, that kind
this is the good part about living in the rural areas. Living in the middle of nowhere. We ready?
Earthquake, I gotta get my stuff together. I don't really have a whole lot anymore. I've got a little bit, but I had at one point I had all that stuff ready to go because my Mormon ex-in-laws took care of me. But you know, but
it's important to prepare, to plan. You know, it's always a good idea while you're able to do it, because. And
I'm not just, you know. Listen, it isn't just doomsday prepping either. I mean, it can be, weather things can happen at any time. Listen, yesterday, I lost cell coverage for 6 or 7 hours completely. Right in the middle of the day while I was working a delivery.
Oh, damn.
Mobile went down. And I was unable to finish the delivery. Free food, but I couldn't finish the delivery.
Right.
And it screwed up my whole afternoon. I had to miss my doctor appointment because because it screwed up my delivery, and I was like, it was such a mess. And like, come home, no coverage whatsoever.
Damn.
Stuff is going to happen, especially
that's the thing.
Our infrastructure starts to crumble. We had the pipe bursts a couple weeks ago, and there was more pipe bursting last week. So stuff is going to happen over the course of time.
And there's another area. This is another area where Gen X is, you know, has to be the leaders here, because we have experience that the younger generations don't have. And so, you know, just
what videos I love watching? I love watching camping videos and like backpacking videos. You know, I'm like, okay, what stuff should I buy?
Absolutely.
My camping days are over, but if I had to, I could.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, infrastructure in California is not getting bad. It's been bad for years.
Which is just wild.
Yeah. Well, we haven't put any money into it.
Yeah.
We decided Prop 13. We decided in 1979 to pass Prop 13 and give taxpayers a break, and that screwed up our economy to the point where we could no longer keep our infrastructure up.
Yeah. They've done a lot over the last 40 years that have just stripped. They bring in billions and just don't put it back into the state whatsoever. It's wild.
No.
All right.
Don't get me started on the water. Of course, we could just watch Chinatown.
Yeah. Don't think you can escape the fourth turning the way you might today distance yourself from news, national politics, or even taxes you don't feel like paying. History warns that a crisis will reshape the basic social and economic environment that you now take for granted. The fourth turning necessitates the death and rebirth of the social order. It is the ultimate rite of passage for an entire people, requiring a liminal state of sheer chaos whose nature and duration no one can predict in advance. It can involve episodes of social dislocation and enforced migration, total mobilization and youth conscription, economic breakdown and mass joblessness, communications blackouts and household isolation, or social breakdown and committees of public safety. Most likely, it will involve more than one of these elements.
Ooh.
They're not wrong. As in a blizzard, simple but fundamental verities will re-emerge. These are the familiar elements of legend and myth that have endured over time simply because they were required in times of peril. Classic virtues that didn't necessarily pay off in an unraveling. Traits like trust, reliability, patience, perseverance, thrift, and selflessness will become hard currency in a crisis. Were history not seasonal, these virtues would have long since atrophied, vanished from memory as useless to humanity. They remain in our tradition because once every seculum they are reaffirmed in full glory, rewarding those who embrace them and penalizing those who do not. In the epic sagas of social peril, from Beowulf to Victory at Sea, notice who prevails and what values they possess. Come the crisis, these are the myths you will want to emulate, and these will be the values you need to display.
Beowulf
How are we feeling?
Beowulf is one of my all-time favorite pieces of literature. As you can tell, my name is Grendelson. From Beowulf.
Yep.
So anytime Grendel is, Beowulf is mentioned. And I do know who won that. I also remember Victory at Sea was one of my dad's favorite shows.
Oh,
it's
yeah?
the story of the Pacific warfare in World War II, and it's done so well. They used all the original footage, and it's got great music and narration. And I remember I watched that show with my dad religiously, and it's out on DVD, and it truly is one of those things that the History Channel was created for. Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. Victory at Sea.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so good. Victory at Sea. It's so good. They released soundtrack albums to it, and my dad had them all. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, he had them all on records, and he'd play them too.
How
my dad
cool!
Used to play Risk by himself, and he would listen.
Really?
Yeah.
Risk by himself. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a mind exercise.
Tell me about it. I used to watch him play all 6. How do you do that, Dad?
Wow. All right. To prepare yourself for the fourth turning, you would do well to apply the following lessons of seasonality. Are we ready? Let's learn.
Oh, yeah.
First up, rectify. Return to the classic virtues. In the coming crisis, sharp distinctions will be drawn between people who can be counted on and those who cannot. Build a reputation as a person of honor and integrity who values self-restraint, family commitments, cultural decency, and mutual trust. Be a good citizen in your town, a good neighbor on your block, a good work partner on the job. Be mannerly and adhere to public standards of conduct. Expect your community reputation to matter far more than it does now. The fourth turning will not be kind to the free agent or organization with a reputation for discarding loyalties, revising settled deals, or pressing every point of leverage. The more your bottom line is interwoven with other people's and your communities, the more helpful these other people and public officials will be in an emergency. Expect to be dealt with according to the reputation of your group, regardless of your current institutional advantage. If your business is perceived as predatory, your profession as parasitical, or your influence as corrupting, then you will personally be at risk.
Where we're seeing that right now too.
Yeah.
Look at anybody who's associated with AI at all.
Yeah.
Anyone. They are like, if you have a job in AI right now, you're not crowing about it unless you're a tech bro. But
Right.
you know, I mean, but and there's more than just AI, right? I mean, that's the one off the top of my head, right?
Right.
But there's other, like, if you're an ICE agent, you're not going out and saying who you are. You know, the people are. I'm just saying that if the business is perceived as predatory, you are perceived as predatory. You're perceived as your business now.
Right. Or your group that you're involved in, or
the group that you're involved in.
Yeah.
You are representing more than ever. That's 100%, I think, accurate.
Yeah.
It's not right, because that's not true. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
But
this is basically tribalism in a way. I mean, but it's,
you know, so basically we're not judging this. We have to accept it.
Yes.
And
you have to understand it.
Exploit it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Exactly. 100% agree with that. Yeah.
So that's where we're at. So basically, get involved.
Yeah.
If you want to have any say in the fourth turning, if you want to have any impact on the fourth turning, get involved.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think we're doing that. We're doing that right now by reading this book, talking about it, and spreading it to as many people as are listening to our stream. You and I are already doing this thing.
Right.
So,
and that's what I try to do with my channel, was try to
your
find...
channel is a perfect example of that.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
100%. 100%. You have built a community around a generation advantage that we all have, and you've turned it into a welcoming place for everyone to just, you know, hang out, because we're all Gen X. And even if you're not Gen X, hang out with us because you'll learn something.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, and you can do it in your own way, but you've got to know who you've got to know who your friends are, who you can trust, and be that for other people. And you know, but you're not going to be able to get through this all on your own by yourself in your house without
so if you don't have a tribe, if you don't have a people, get some.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Or create your own community.
Create your own. Create your own. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I'll tell you what, I was like sitting around going, I'm bored. I don't have any friends. I know, I'll make one. I made my own best friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
As he reminds me the other day, he's like, yeah, Dad, you made me. I'm your best friend. I'm like,
oh. And Rubber Amanda is right here, being directly involved in the lives of all the young people that we care about. This is a huge one. This is a big one.
It is.
Because
it's hard too, because not just like, okay, it's hard to be a dad, but it's also hard to be like a middle-aged, you know, I have a hard time talking to my cousins who are the next generation down.
Millennials.
You know? Yeah, they're millennials. And, you know, my one cousin just lost her dad. My other cousin, he's doing better. He's, you know, working and he's got his own thing, but he lost his dad young too. So that's what we all have in common. But, you know, it's difficult to really work with them on a mentor level.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes any sense. I don't do enough of it with them. And it constantly gets to me because I feel like I'm not being a good older cousin.
Right. No, and I get that too. I get that with my niece and nephew, you know, like I did what I could when I had them, and I got them through school and tried to set them up for the next phase of their life. But I don't, you know, they're Gen Z, and they don't really want to talk to a 48-year-old woman regularly. You know, they're like, that's just not in their world, but they do. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but Max is in the military, and Gwen is going off to college. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Max is super busy, you know.
That's the thing is at their age, they should be busy. They should have,
and that's, that's a good point.
They should not necessarily, you know, want to seek you out, you know, but it's like I said, it's difficult to provide that even if they don't want it.
Right. I wasn't blessed to
They
have
will.
kids myself either, Christy, but I took in my niece and my nephew when they were in junior high. So I did have, but yeah, I wasn't. But just because you don't have your own, I mean, there can be nieces and nephews in your life. There can be younger coworkers in your life. There can be, there can be all kinds of younger people around you. They don't have to be ones that you actually birthed on your own. And and you don't even have to like spend a ton of time with them. Just be an example, and they'll come to you if they're I mean,
Not
if they're
working
interested in what you're doing.
When I was working in an office the last few times, working with, at that time, younger millennials, was really enlightening, and I really got to respect what they bring to the table and was able to really understand where they're coming from and see. But I haven't had that in a long time now. I don't have that same interaction on a day-to-day basis, except when I'm doing deliveries, and that doesn't count. So I need to go back out to the theater more often than I volunteer at. I need to show up and watch some shows every now and again. I haven't been to a show in ages. I haven't set foot in the theater, in ages. So, and that's full of millennials and Gen Zs, and it's so much fun to be around because you just want to suck up their energy. So that's what I say. Go around, be around those young people and suck their psychic energy because it's there, and they'll give it to you for free because they really are usually, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. And they haven't had the world beat them down quite yet. Even the ones that survived COVID are kind of like, hey, it's not that bad. Yeah.
I mean, they're existing, but we've got to help them, build some self-esteem and some skills. I feel like when we were growing up, the world was our oyster. We could do anything we wanted. We had hopes and we had dreams but I feel like the younger generations feel like they can't do hardly anything because of the current situation or what I'm saying? Like they're
I get that. I do feel that. I feel that a lot. I feel like there is a hopelessness. I feel like there is a helplessness. And
like there's no agency. They have no.
It's my child feels that almost daily, and it's just one of those things. It's difficult because you basically have to tell them, well, unfortunately, you have to really grasp it. You have to reach out and take it. You have to be able to stand up on your own 2 feet and really, say that you matter and do something about it. And also, life is the best thing to do. Whatever your actions are, you got to actually do something.
Right. And life is hard. Like it's not going to be comfortable all the time. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy all the time. But I feel like we've really shielded our kids and our grandkids from this idea of anything harmful or anything hard or anything scary. Like you just got to avoid it or we got to protect them from it. And we don't let them experience the bad stuff because sometimes you got to experience the bad stuff to build character and to understand how to fight your own battles. And
the only thing I will say this though is my experience has been you got to let them come to you. You got to let them seek out your knowledge and ask you to tell them what not because if you start if we start telling them, hey, you got to have comment, they don't listen. They don't tune out. But if they're genuinely interested, they will listen.
They will. You got to plant seeds. You got to plant seeds because they don't know what they don't know. And so I take for granted, all the things that I grew up with and the things that I experienced and the things that I love. And sometimes I feel like it's just common knowledge that everybody knew this or had these experiences, but they don't, especially the younger kids. They never grew up in the world that we grew up in, and they never experienced the things that we experienced.
You're the last bastions of the analog world.
Yeah.
They are a digital native.
Yes.
And we can sit here and tell them how great Saturday morning TV was.
Right.
Our cereal.
They don't care.
How we drank from the hose and how we ran around without a care in the world. And we did. And we enjoyed it. And we survived, except for those of us who died from lawn darts. But that's called selective breeding, or I mean, that's called survival of the fittest.
Right. And yeah, and they're not going to care about our specific experiences,
No.
but it's good to let them know that, hey, these are times in your life where things are happening that are going to be very important to you and very influential on you in your later life. And, and they don't have to care or understand exactly what we went through, but we can try to help explain or try to plant those seeds of, you can do things and you can pursue passions. You can go out and look for things. And sometimes things are going to be hard and sometimes things are going to suck. And sometimes, you're going to get left somewhere at 2 a.m. and not have a way to get home. And you have to call someone or walk a mile to get somewhere. But hey, you're going to get through it. It'll be okay.
My parents always said, make sure you always have enough money for a payphone. And I don't care where you are or what you're doing. If you need me, you call me and I will come get you.
That was the first thing I told Max.
We will not. I will never get angry. We will deal with it later. But you need to be safe. And you know what? I was such a good kid. I never had to really.
I didn't either.
Times, but nothing. I mean, it wasn't even, nothing.
Yeah.
I never got arrested. I never got in trouble. I never had
right. But I just like the idea. I just like the idea of of just being real with kids and just the world is not perfect and the world is not comfortable and the world is not all fun and games and sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to have some, if you're gonna get through this life, you're gonna have to have some, some personal stamina and some resolve and, willingness to get through things, even if it's not so much fun all the time. Or
I never coddled my own kid, man. I'll tell you, anytime when they were little, they hurt themselves or something, I'd look at them and go, "Are you bleeding?" No.
Yep.
All right then.
Yeah, put some dirt on it and
put some dirt on it. Let's go. No, I'm serious. I would never. I'm like, I barely had I, as a single dad, barely had a first aid kit. Okay.
Yeah.
He actually bought first aid kits because he wanted Band-Aids. I'm like, okay, great. Buy your own Band-Aids. I don't give a crap. I don't use them. I'm a man.
Yeah.
Strap yourself. Big deal. You rub some dirt on it, aloe vera, you're fine.
All right.
Die. No, I didn't die.
What else do we have to do? We have to converge. Heed emerging community norms.
See, this is where we get into problems because we can't do that.
I know. In a fourth turning, the nation's core will matter more than its diversity. Team, brand, and standard will be new catchwords. Anyone and anything not describable in those terms could be shunted aside or worse. Do not isolate yourself from community affairs. Being unplugged could penalize you at a time you might need to know what all levels of government are doing just to meet your most basic of needs. Appearances will matter. Justice will be rough because society will require more order but have fewer resources and less time to impose it. As technicalities give way, innocent people will suffer. If you don't want to be misjudged, don't act in a way that might provoke crisis-era authority to deem you guilty. If you belong to a racial or ethnic minority, brace for a nativist backlash from an assertive and possibly authoritarian majority. At the height of crisis, you might have to choose between loyalty to the national community and loyalty to your own group. Isolating yourself from people of other races or ethnicities could be risky because you may need emergency help from people you might now be able to avoid. Woo! I'll let y'all just sit on that. Yep.
Can I need a shot? I need a shot of vodka right now.
I know, right? Time to take a hit. Time to take a shot.
That's a good idea.
Actually, I'm going to take a 60-second break and go pee real fast, and I'll be right back. Everybody, sit on that. Think about that for a minute. I'll be right back.
Anybody's parents still have a land? I have not had a landline since 2014. Actually, no, I take that back. I haven't had a landline since 2000. I forgot. That's when I got rid of my landline. I have not had a landline since 2000. I went cell phone only. You can believe that. Nap break. It is. It's a nap break. And remember what the key word was. Do you remember what the key word was? It's the name of Ricky Nelson's biggest hit.
Okay. I'm back. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. We did the Jeopardy theme song.
Nice.
I gave a clue to the word.
Oh, good. Day. Perfect. We're going to run for about another 20 minutes or so, and then we're going to take a break for next week. All right.
Bonds.
Bond. Build personal relationships of all kinds.
Yes. Yeah, so, by the way, a lot of that stuff that you were just talking about has already happened. It is happening, but I think it's incumbent on us to try to get yourself into a group and.
Yep. 100%.
Hopefully you're on the right one. The surviving one.
Yeah, the surviving one. When the crisis hits, anonymity will be associated with discredited, unraveling era vices and feared. Direct personal linkages will be newly valued. Know the people who can help you. In the fourth turning, having well-positioned friends could be very important. High-level institutional corruption may recede, but low-level personal dealing could flourish as people seek ad hoc official favors to meet the most basic and urgent of needs. The marketplace will apply similar rules, face-to-face contacts with everyone. They're got this a little bit wrong, but maybe not, because we have no face-to-face. Maybe we need more face-to-face interactions. I'm trying to build more in my daily life. I joined a class.
I was going to say, Natalie, doesn't that mean you need to go out of your house?
Yes, it does. Nah. I started a reformer Pilates class, so I take that about 3 to 4 times a week now. So it's getting me out of my house, and I'm face to face with dozens of people every day, and it's thank God. When I was out of work there for a while, I was getting real insular. Yeah, it was not fun. And now that I've been back to work for about a month, and I'm feeling so much happier about life. Yeah, just human interaction feeds the soul. It's so huge. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just like, even if it's just handing somebody their food and them thanking me, I love that. That's my favorite part of the job.
100%.
Hey, here's your food. Enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got it to you as fast as I could. There you go. Enjoy your food. Have a great day.
Absolutely.
I know what I'm doing is banal and beneath me, but I don't care.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's you're doing something that you enjoy, and that's good, and it's allowing you to make connection. And I have the belief that human connection and relationships is one of the number one purposes of life itself, to be honest with you. One of the reasons why we're here is to have these personal connections and relationships with other human beings, because if not, then what's the point? To sit here and do nothing for your whole life and not connect with people, not build friendships, relationships, and all of that. And but yeah, if it makes you happy, it's a good thing.
If it makes you happy.
All right, Sheryl Crow. Gather, prepare yourself and your children for teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, but it's true.
In the fourth turning, the rewards will grow for people with a reputation for accepting authority and working well in teams. Integrate your skills, works, and pastimes with those of others. Stress less what sets you apart as an individual and more what you have in common with others. Woo! In business, move towards structures that combine teams and hierarchies using technology, including computers, as tools to bring people together. Raise children to excel at team virtues. Don't track kids out of the mainstream. Where public schools work, you should educate them there so they can learn group skills among peers of diverse backgrounds and abilities. Expect children to develop a powerful connection with government. Your children may be inducted as they come of age, perhaps into circumstances of real danger. This is cause for worry, certainly, but given the uplifted status of youth, it should also be cause for pride and hope. Root. Look to your family for support. When the fourth turning arrives, your family will become your ultimate safety net. Maintain relationships of trust with your extended family, from grandparents to grandchildren, in-laws to distant cousins. This is one thing that I've really tried to work on in the last couple of years, is strengthening my relationships with my family, my extended family as well.
That's good.
So, yeah.
That's good.
It's good. It's good for the soul.
Yeah, I reconciled with my uncle before he passed away. That was good.
Good deal.
You know, my bonds with my mom and my stepdad are pretty good.
Yep.
I even had a good conversation with my ex-wife the other day.
Well, good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And as Gen Xers, we're losing.
Shout out to Melissa if you're watching, because I told her about this.
Nice. Hello, Melissa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, especially.
And we're not talking about you either.
Yeah. But especially as we grow older and we're losing our parents and losing the older members of our family, we ourselves are becoming the elders of our family, the matriarchs and the patriarchs of our families. And, you know, and I just, it's important to me to reach out and to, you know, have those connections with all of those different people, and not just the ones that are here, but the ones that are not here anymore, through my genealogy and you know, going back through my family tree and things. And you know, it's a connection to your past and to your family's history as much as it is a connection to your current family. So, and San Diego Chrissy's right, teach kids to be gracious losers in sports these days. Kids sports has become this industry that needs to be abolished. This whole like,
I agree. I was, I guess, fortunate enough that my kid said no interest whatsoever in any organized sport, so did not have to deal with that.
Oh my God, my best friend.
It was a blessing.
Yeah.
I got my kid into yoga when they were 2.
Oh wow!
And so they have done yoga for their whole life. They wanted to do gymnastics with their yoga teacher, so they did that. You know, they were not interested, thank God, because I did. I was competitive in sports. I know what kind of dad I would have been, and I would have been a good coach and everything. But you know,
but man, that's a world that my best friend from high school had 2 kids, and a boy and a girl, and each one of them was into team sports and like softball. Her daughter was into softball and her son was into baseball. And I mean, they were traveling to different places every weekend. Yeah. They were going, you know, different states for different tournaments, buying all of this expensive gear, and the commitment and just and 99% of these kids are going to stop playing once they are done with school. Like, you know, they're not going to go professional. Like, why are you doing this? But anyway, I don't want to get on that.
If the kid enjoys it, that's one thing. If the kid
enjoys it, yes.
If it's driven by the child, then I have no problem with it.
But even the leagues aren't even. Yeah. But even the leagues aren't driven. Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I mean, I think sports are important, you know.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, it is pretty sad but sports in general
it's become
in our lifetimes has become something that doesn't resemble anything that it was when even we were growing up.
100%. Yeah.
And what we were growing up with wasn't what our parents and our grandparents grew up with, and they were upset about it. You know, I cannot imagine what my grandparents would be thinking about looking at baseball and football now.
I know.
Crazy. You know, just no, I can't get started. Yeah. Move on to that.
Yeah. Next.
I love sports and I hate sports. That's my, you know,
Same here.
I love sports. And the older I get, the more elite the sports that I follow are, because now I'm into F1.
Oh,
and
wow.
I've been into America's Cup.
I
do not give a crap about the NFL.
Yeah, I don't care about the NFL either. I find it appalling, to be honest.
Except I do want to point out, speaking of the NFL, local guy to you, Kansas City Chief coach Eric Bieniemy, his wife was involved in an altercation this week. She's in the hospital. She was shot allegedly by her son.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, I just want to shout out to I hope that she.
Wow, I hadn't heard
used to
anything.
play for the Chargers, and I met
Yeah.
him a bunch of times, and I got his autograph a bunch of times. He's a really cool dude. He
Oh,
he ended up coaching, and he's the coach of he's a offensive coordinator at the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
Wow. Boy,
So-
I need to pay attention to news because I had not heard that at all.
That's local news to you. Isn't
That
it?
is local news, 100%.
The only
Wow.
reason I mentioned it because I was like, that's local news to you.
Yeah. Wow, I had no idea. But yeah, professional sports is just a whole thing that
I can't
we could
even.
do. Yeah,
the only sport that I
makes
can
me
follow,
mad.
the only pro sport that I can follow is hockey. And
Yeah.
that is simply because I love hockey and the guys are all blue collar dudes.
Right.
Every hockey player I have ever met, and I've met a lot of hockey players because I like to go to hockey practice.
Yeah.
Every damn one of them is the nicest guy in the world. Sign anything you want. Just happy to see you come out to the rink. Okay.
Yeah.
Love me some hockey. I love baseball because it's baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I mean,
love
I will
college
always have a
basketball.
special place in my heart for the
I'm
Cardinals.
actually super excited about the women's baseball league that's starting on next week.
There's a women's baseball league.
There is
starting?
a 4-team women's professional baseball league starting next week on August 1st. They're all going to play in one area, but there's four. The teams are New York, San Francisco, Boston, and LA, I think. And it's one of the first professional women's leagues since the 40s. They got money. And they got coverage. So
Yep.
I'm super excited about that because I'll tell you also, the women's hockey league is amazing, and the women's
Really?
basketball. I don't know if you've been following women's basketball, but that's
I can't stand
fun.
women's basketball.
Oh,
I
don't-
hated women's basketball my whole life.
Oh man, come on, Caitlin
I
Clark
just-
and Sophie Cunningham. They're like a running commentator.
Yeah.
It's just amusing every night to watch them.
Yeah, I know. I just, I'm a former sports reporter, and I've never enjoyed women's sports ever.
Wow.
If it's on a school level, like cool, that's fine. But professional female sports, I've never enjoyed it.
Wow. We
I'm
need to
sorry.
explore that sometime. That's okay. We should do a counterpoint on that. That'd be
Yeah.
our next podcast. On
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, I get, like, I think it's fun for women to play sports and their leagues and everything, but I'm just, as a viewer, I like to watch men play. That's just me. But I'm just I'm just an old woman.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm telling you, women's hockey it's a different game.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it's a lot more fun because it's a little bit more pure hockey and less, brutality.
Right.
Which is
I like
something
the
I love about the NHL. I love that about the NHL, but also
yeah.
I like
I will say
I'm not a big fan of the women's basketball, to be quite honest, but I watched my UCLA Bruins win this year.
Yeah.
And Sophie Cunningham just cracks me up.
I've seen her on memes
a couple
and
of weeks
stuff.
ago
Yeah.
with the pointing.
Yes, I've seen the pointing
That
meme.
was hilarious.
That was pretty
And
fun.
she cracked. I don't even agree with her on a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
she's my favorite player right now because I think she is hilarious.
Yeah.
So,
I've seen the
you know.
memes. I definitely enjoyed that. But but I will say that the 2019 Stanley Cup run of the Blues was one of the most fun sports experiences as a fan I've ever had. So that caused me to fall in love with the NHL.
2012 and 2014 for me,
Yeah.
I will never ever forget those years because I got to go to a couple of games both seasons. I went to the championship celebrations both seasons.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know that my team is ever going to win another Stanley Cup. We certainly didn't expect to win either one of those.
Right, that's how the Blues were. Yeah, it was our first one. That was really fun. And I've been through a lot of championships in my teams, but that was.
And you guys had
run.
Brett Hull, so
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I remember.
All right, brace, gird for the week. Here we go. Gird for the weakening or collapse of public support mechanisms. During the fourth turning, today's generous government supply of senior benefits, cash, health, housing, and social services could erode sharply. Youth, not age, will be the target of civic action and reward. Unless you expect your income and wealth to be low enough to pass a means test, you should discount U.S. government promises about the reliability of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. and perhaps even public employee pensions. Any of these could turn out to be no more reliable than earlier promises about Continental and Confederate dollars. You should start at once to build your own financial security. How we feeling out there, guys?
Yeah, I don't feel so good about that. I got a net worth of nothing, but you know, I live day to day, and I,
right.
expect to
But
survive.
I do worry about this stuff because I'm a caretaker for my father who is going through cancer, and he is on Social Security and he is on Medicare, and all of this stuff that they are paying for and all of the things that he's able to do with his treatment because of these programs. And I look at that and I think there is no way that money's going to be there to pay for whatever it is I need in 25 years. And it worries me, and I mean, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but
no, I don't think you are. But I think
I don't know how much longer.
Somebody's going to have to. There's going to have to do something. Something's going to break, and there will have to be some sort of, something. I mean, whether or not it's at age 75, you automatically get to retire, and here's a fixed income for you for the rest of your life. If you don't have any money, if you don't have any savings, then you get a basic minimum. Minimum.
Right.
Everyone's.
We're gonna have to change these programs somehow because the way they're set up, the way they're structured.
I mean, I'm not saying it. Listen, I'm not saying take anything away from you. If you have your savings, you're ready to go. Great.
Yeah, definitely.
You're very smart. I wish I was that smart. I'm not that smart. And
I'm scared to invest. Like I'm because I don't trust the institutions and the things that, it scares me. Even though for my whole life the market's gone up and up and up and up and up, decade after decade. But I get scared. I get scared to get myself.
When you're worried that at some point the market just could all get. Listen, did you watch that show, Mr. Robot? The market got wiped out.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it could definitely be wiped out.
If you have anything in any savings anywhere, unless it's actual physical gold.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was. My thought process was my thought process was to just make sure that I have no bills, like everything's paid off. And have food so I have a place to live. I have food storage. I have power and water backups, and just make sure I'm as self-sufficient as possible so I don't need a lot of money to live on. That's kind of my thought process.
If you can live off the grid, if you can figure out how to live off the grid and in regular times, and you can do it when there is no grid.
Yeah.
And you'll survive. You'll be happier. You will have beaten the unraveling, and you will be the fourth turning king.
Winner.
Winner.
No. You should save plenty of money, even if that means cutting back on your current lifestyle. The best way to guarantee good health care in old age is to practice good health habits today. Now, that's a good one.
That is a good point.
With the health, and that's one thing.
Let me tell you, the better your insurance, the more you can afford to actually pay for your health care, the better it is. Let me tell you,
I haven't had health insurance in 15 years. I pay cash for everything that I do. Yeah. It is
that way.
That's
the thing that bothers me, because it wasn't that way when we were young. There was a different system, and it worked a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, it did. It did.
I don't know what the hell happened.
A lot of things happen, but we don't want to get into all of that because it's a whole mess. And government likes to spend lots of money and do things certain ways and change things that worked. But anyway, the whole system is a mess, and it has been for a long time, but it's getting worse and worse as we go. Hedge, diversify everything you do.
We're good at that.
Yes, once the crisis catalyzes, anything can happen. If you are starting a career now, realize that generalists will survive with survival know-how will have the edge over specialists whose skills are useful only in an undamaged environment. Be fluent in as many languages, cultures, and technologies as you can. Your business could face a total alteration of market conditions. Expect public subsidies to vanish, the regulatory environment to change quickly, and new trade barriers to arise. Avoid leverage investments or long-term debt, including massive student debt. Assume that all your external safety nets could end up totally shredded. And I think that that's,
Oh, yeah.
you know, that for personal, these are things that you can definitely do now, and you still have time to do this kind of stuff. But
And
just
regardless, this stuff is just smart to do regardless of whatever it is that's happening.
100%. Yeah.
This is just actual really good advice.
Yes.
Really wish I could take advantage of it. And I'll try. I will try. You know, I should probably start turning some of my action figures into actual cash. But.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to have to buy an old abandoned mall and turn it into a thriving Gen X retirement community.
No, you know what I saw the other day? I saw a school for sale for $100,000 in Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice! Like an old school, like an
old school. It was like 20 rooms. It had a gym and an auditorium and a chapel.
Nice.
And it like, I mean, the pictures were probably way better than it looked now, but man, for $100,000, I'd buy that just for the land itself. Give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just think, you could turn that into, you know, oh my God, you could turn it into so many things.
I know. I would love to do that someday. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something along those lines.
I think malls are huge and they're expensive and they are difficult to actually maintain and run, even if they're empty as much.
Yeah.
But like a small school. That's what I'm talking about. You know,
now we're talking it.
Huge. There's lots of small schools around that are dead, you know? And this was a nice school. It's all brick and stuff.
Yeah. I'll buy a condo in a mall that must have an arcade. My mall will have an arcade, Eclectic Deb. Don't worry.
But you must have an arcade, man.
Yes.
That's the next pop-up thing. You know, the next pop-up trend, I guarantee you, is going to be something like recreating. I saw a skit on this, but like recreating the 90s, where like you go into a place and it's like the 90s arcade, the 90s mall.
Yes.
And like you go to Suncoast and you can go to Blockbuster and you can go to Sam Goody and you can go to B. Dalton, you know, and then it'll be like they'll have a place where you can go home and you can like play on the internet and it's dial up and you can only get on the online. And then like you turn on the TV and you may not and it'll be like then they'll have like a 70s room where you can go in and turn on the TV and there's only 6 channels and they all come in crappy.
I love it.
And then you have to listen to music on record players that are all scratched up and really bad because you know vinyl. I never liked vinyl because my records all got scratched all the time.
Yeah.
Warped, scratched.
Yep.
Pain in the ass to take care of.
They are.
Cats. Can I tell you how many cats scratched up records?
Cat scratch fever.
But yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, rabbit ears.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to start a company like this that does 80s experience, 90s experience pop-ups.
I mean, if we did one where it was like you could go from the 60s to the 90s in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It would freak, or the 50s to the 90s in 2 hours, it would freak people out. You know what I'm saying?
It would.
But it would be like a huge, people would love it. They would come to it.
Oh, yeah.
Roadside attractions are getting big again. Thank God, because I really love those. We're getting a new one. We're getting a new Meow Wolf out here.
Let's bring it all back.
I know, right? I mean, honestly, I thank God for Stranger Things for actually trying to bring some of that crap back, even though the show wasn't that spectacular.
Right.
It did actually capture some cultural zeitgeist and remind us that, like, hey, Kate Bush did rock.
Yeah. And I think, not to toot my own horn, I feel like I've had a couple of moments with my channel where I've really tapped into this. I'll get my video of 25 80s commercials that like 80s kids know by heart. That has 2.8 million views of just a video of commercials. I'm
going to tell you something. Nelson needs to be knocking on your door pretty soon. I'm telling you.
I don't know if I can handle it, Grendelson. I don't know if I can handle it.
I know you can. I
love my Matthew and Gunner.
I know how much their cameos cost. So, someone's at some point is going to get you a cameo. Maybe not them both together because that costs 10 times as much.
Yeah. Well,
but individually, they're not that bad.
I love them both. All right.
I know, but individually, they're priced very reasonably. But both of them together, it costs 10 times as much.
Hey, That's the value of them being together.
I know. It's classic.
All right, let's wrap up this chapter. We're actually going to wrap up this chapter. I don't believe it. Generational
so
scripts.
far off track too. That's
Yeah.
the beautiful thing.
Generational scripts. So here's where we go. So we've gotten through
Oh yeah.
things that America can do, things that you can do individually. Now we're
Yeah.
getting into the generational scripts, and I'm going to pop down to Gen X. So starting off, in ancient Rome, it was understood that most people could expect to witness the secular games once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Some would
They
encounter
knew.
it. Some would encounter it in Senectus, others in Veritas. I don't know Greek very
Juventus.
well.
It's Juventus actually.
Eventus
Yeah,
or
it's-
Puritia.
yeah.
What's the
Or-
last one? Puritia?
Puritia. I think.
Puritia. The phase of life in which people experience the games permanently marked their location in Roman history. The same is true of generations. Each archetype traverses the 4 secular seasons along a path resembling a 1-year voyage to the 4 natural seasons. Since the winter reaches each archetype at a different phase of life, it fits differently within each of their respective life cycle dramas. Accordingly, the 4th turning lends each archetype its own script. Within these scripts, each archetype confronts its shadow in the crisis, and each finds itself in a position to provide society with an attribute that felt lacking in the turning of its own childhood.
Yeah.
The prophet, born in the high, seeks vision. The nomad, Gen X, born in the awakening, seeks realism. The hero, born in the unraveling, seeks power. That's millennials. And the artist, born in the prior or current crisis, seeks empathy. Gen Z. Into and through the next 4th turning, America's generational constellation will change dramatically.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah, everybody's dead, older than us. The overwhelming majority of 13ers, that's Gen X, will live to witness the end of the 4th turning. They will enter the crisis as America's largest generation, but leave it eclipsed by 2 others. By the end of the crisis, the millennials will be America's largest generation of voters. If today's generations follow the historical pattern, the following national leadership changes can be expected. At the crisis catalyst, the silent will be out of authority, boomers will be nearing their peak of power, 13ers will be rapidly ascending, and millennials will be fledgling voters and soldiers. When the crisis resolves, the silent will have no power, boomers on the brink of a steep descent, 13ers near their peak, millennials rapidly ascending, and the new silent just starting to vote and join the military. As individuals, most of us have little power to help America weather the coming crisis. Yet, as members of generations, our power is far greater. Remember the core dynamic of the seculum. History shapes generations, and generations shape history. All right, let's go to the 13ers.
Ooh.
Let's go to our script. Here we go, guys.
By the
Take
way,
note.
millennials are already the largest block of voters, registered voters.
Yep.
Baby boomers are still second, and we are still third.
Yep. Yeah, boomers haven't died off as fast, and we also, each of the generations have been reduced by laws. I mean, to be honest, a third of our generation and a third of Gen Z has been aborted. So that was not taken into account in their numbers. So that's why we are still a very small generation compared to the millennials and the boomers. They're never going to die. They're just going to live to 150 apparently. 13er script. Here we go, guys. Survival skills are what a society needs most in a 4th turning, and those are precisely what the most criticized archetype, the nomad, possesses in abundance. For those of you that are new here, 13ers or nomads, that is their name for Generation X in this book. Through the natural corrective force of the seculum, the nomad was raised to excel in exactly those skills that history will require from him in midlife at a time of real public danger. His challenge will be to stop dispersing these skills for scattered purposes and start gathering them for one larger purpose. Through the unraveling, the nomad has been able to withdraw from civic life, but come the crisis, he cannot. It will be his duty to ensure that whatever choices society makes will work as intended. In public life, the nomad must cut through the paralytic residue once built by his shadow, the old artist. In private life, he must rebuild the family and community rituals once discarded by the old artist. As he does this, the nomad will nurture the new child artist. That's Gen Z. The fourth turning will find other generations with lives either mostly in the past or mostly in the future. But it will catch 13ers in prime time, right at the midpoint of their adult years. They must step forward as the Seculum's repair generation, the one stuck with fixing the messes and cleaning up the debris left by others. Every tool 13ers acquire during a hardened childhood and individualist youth will be put to maximum test. If 13ers apply these tools for community purpose, they will become antidotes to pathologies remembered from their own awakening era childhood, from divorce and latchkeys to public debt and cultural decay. The 13ers' gravest fourth turning duty will be their society's most important pre-seasonal task, to ensure that there can indeed be a new high, a new golden age of hope and prosperity. I'm going to say that one more time. The 13ers' gravest fourth turning duty will be their society's most important pre-seasonal task, to ensure that there can indeed be a new high, a new golden age of hope and prosperity. For the crisis to end well, 13ers must keep boomers from wreaking needless destruction and millennials from marching too mindlessly under their elders' banner. They will not find it easy to restrain an older generation that will consider itself far wiser than they, and a younger one that will consider itself more deserving. For this, the 13ers will require a keen eye, a deft touch, and a rejection of the wild risk-taking associated with their youth. How we all doing out there? How we all feeling? Doing okay? Doing okay? All right.
Get in there.
All right, here we go.
Man, boomers.
Ooh! From now to the end of the fourth turning, 13ers will constantly rise in power. From 1998 until around the crisis climax, they will be America's largest potential generation voting bloc. We know we're not, but we are still very influential. As the years pass, their civic contributions will become increasingly essential to their nation's survival. They will have to vote more, participate more, and if they want to contain the boomers' zealotry, they will have that chance. Their own elected officials will surge into Congress as the crisis catalyzes, eclipse boomers around its climax, and totally dominate them by the time it resolves. These are the next couple of elections we're looking at, guys. As they go one-on-one with history, 13ers should remember that history is counting on them to do whatever hard jobs may be necessary. If 13ers play their script weakly, old boomers could wreak a horrible apocalypse, and 13er demagogues could impose a mind-numbing authoritarianism, or both. If 13ers play their script cleverly but safely, however, a new golden age will be their hard-won reward. As they age, 13ers should remember Hemingway's words: "Old men do not grow wise, they grow careful." How are we feeling, everybody?
I'm not taking Hemingway's way out. Wow.
That's right, Eclectic Deb. Wolverines! Speaking of, Monday night, on our Monday night movie over on the Discord, we're doing a double feature of Toy Soldiers and Red Dawn. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome.
Wow. I'm tuned in for Toy Soldiers.
We had a great time last night. We watched Can't Buy Me Love and Teen Witch, and it was an absolute blast.
Can't Buy Me Love. Did they actually get Can't Buy Me Love, or did they have to do a sound over?
No, they bought Beatles. Can't Buy Me Love. It's the closing credit song. Yep.
Yeah. That probably cost more than the whole movie did.
We even talked about that last night.
Dempsey, yeah. That budget, there was no budget for that movie.
Yeah.
Didn't need one. I mean, those movies don't need budgets.
Not a big one. Nope.
Yeah.
So 13ers or Gen X, or however you want to call us, we are very important. And these next few years are crucial. This is it.
And it just, we are super critical. We are going to be the catalysts. We are going to be the people who are going to make things happen, and we
Yep.
are not going to get any of the credit.
Nope.
We are going to be disdained. We are going to be told we're wrong. We are going to be ridiculed, and they are going to rail at every single thing that we try to do. And in the end, we will be right and they will be wrong, because we are always right, because we are stronger and we are smarter, because we know these things ahead of time.
Yep.
Okay, we know what's going to happen. We're getting ready. We know that one of us is going to lead the charge going forward. And I really do hope that we're going to lead in a new golden age, and that we are going to be able to move forward without too much turmoil. But
yeah,
I mean, I really honestly hope that the worst of the unraveling has already happened, and that things are just going to get better going forward. But obviously, that's just me with real big rose-colored glasses.
Yeah,
I really think it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. I mean, I know it's going to get worse before it gets better, but I mean, I'm hoping that it's going to. I'm hoping that I am still of the opinion that smarter people are not going to let things devolve into anarchy and chaos. I still truly, firmly believe that there are enough smart people on both sides who are unwilling to let things create a second civil war.
Right. I hope so.
I just don't think anybody really thinks that is going to be a good idea for the country.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, it's
a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants that. But as they say in the fourth turning, these things are inevitable, and it's not going to be easy. No fourth turning ever is.
No.
But, I mean, we just have to be able to navigate our way through it and come out the other side still standing, I mean, as a country and as a culture and as a, as a nation.
I mean,
geez, a lot of us.
If it's a polar ice melt, suddenly find ourselves going, remember Waterworld?
Yeah. Yep. But
I know some people do want a second civil war, and unfortunately, those are the kind of people we have to fight against. Quite frankly, we got to fight that. I don't care what side they're on. I don't.
But how do you fight that?
If you want a second civil war, then I'm against you.
Well, yeah, no, I don't want violence. No,
I don't want violence. No. But that is treason, as far as I'm concerned. It's treason. We can talk about secession. We can talk about doing a legal thing.
Right.
Do
Definitely.
You want to secede? Listen, we could do it.
Yep.
If you want, if your state wants to secede from the union, we could vote and we could secede, and there'd be nothing they could do to stop it. And,
right.
No,
I agree. Like, I don't want the violence either, and I don't even, that's never, no, that's not what I want to happen. I see us. I know we've talked about this before. I see maybe if it gets really bad, it could be a breakup of some kind, maybe temporarily, maybe permanently. I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. There are legal outlets to do different things. But I don't want to get to that either. Hopefully something happens.
I think the most, I honestly, I think there'll be more, if there's widespread violence, I think it'll be more civil unrest than, outright war-like fighting. I don't think that there'll be a real, we are kind of fighting a civil Cold War. And I think that's really where we're at.
Yeah.
If we look at it from that point of view, a civil Cold War, then we can actually start to see that there's some movement to be able to get along.
Yeah. And approach it if we approach it like that, then there's a starting point for negotiation. Then there's a starting point for
exactly
figuring things out.
That's where we need to be. And I think, honestly, I think that the next election's not going to change the balance all that much, but I think it's just going to bring it more into balance if anything happens. And so being in balance where neither side has a majority in either party, and you are forced to get along to compromise and make things happen in government, that's when we're going to get some change.
Right. Ooh, I hate the word force. Not a big fan of force.
I understand that.
But yeah, I know. But sometimes you got to do things that
I'm saying that I'm not saying as in use of force. I'm saying that's going to, force us to force, not even us, force people in Congress.
Right.
Let's face it, we ain't gonna do shit. I'm gonna vote. That's about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote. I'll talk to people. I'll vote. I'll talk to people. I'll
organize your communities.
I'll encourage. I will engage in civil debate and recourse
100%.
and rhetoric, and I will not go as far as to volunteer for my voting precinct, because that's just a pain in the ass. But
right.
I will vote. My child will vote, and we will continue to discuss and try to work together to resolve the issues that we have in between us, because a lot of times we just don't see what's going on the other side. It's different. Your whole population in your town can fit on my street. Freaking crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably fit in your block. Yeah, or like your street, or we would. Yeah, my town has about 15,000 people.
But you want to know what's crazy? I was just looking at the population of Japan, of Tokyo. The entire population of California, the state, lives in Tokyo.
Wow.
Tokyo is smaller than Los Angeles.
That's crazy.
So I think about that. I mean, I'm thinking about like even on the macro level, my city is pretty crowded. Okay. I can't even imagine taking everybody in my state, which is, I forget how many are in the state. I know there's 3 million in the city, but there's 8 million in the state, 10 million, something like that. Sticking them all in one in this area. And that's what you have in Tokyo.
Ugh.
So think about that, which is also the entire population of, of an entire country,
Yeah. Well, and that's why it makes it so hard to do anything at this point on the national level, is because each state has so many people and so many different needs and so many different resources and so many different challenges. And, it's just, again, how do you bring all of that together for a common cause or for a common?
Why we are not a united, we are the United States. Each individual community has its own flavor. It has its own individual government, which is amazing. And, not a lot of places are like that. And, up until 76, no places were like that.
Right. Exactly.
Say what we got is working, and we could try to work better. And, I really hope that we're not going to come to violence, because I just,
I hope not either. I hope the founders of our republic have put together a blueprint that's going to be able to get us through whatever it is that we're facing, and I hope so.
I believe they have. I do believe they have, because I believe that there are enough people, smart, intelligent people on both sides of the spectrum, who do have the best interests at heart, and who will not let things go too far, because we have seen what happens before. And those people know what happened. They don't have the wool pulled over their eyes. There are smart people doing things that are, ensuring that we're going to survive. And I just I have to believe in humanity. And I do believe in humanity. So we're all human.
Yep.
So there are smart people who are working towards everybody's greater good. It may not be everybody on this planet. It's probably not even 1 billion people. It's probably not even 1 million people who are like this. There's enough people like that who are in charge, who are not going to let us fail. And I just hope that's true.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. I don't know
Yep.
that it's true. I just believe that it is.
Yeah. Collected Deb has a great question. Yeah, but federal law is supposed to create a common mission. What happens when some jurisdictions give that law the finger? And I think that's what we're facing right now is trying to figure all that out. Again, because we're such a large country, having a common mission amongst all of us at this point.
The
and a
only common
goal.
mission federal law dictates is life, liberty, and the pursuit of
Right.
happiness. I don't know where people get this opinion that the federal government has to have a mandate to create something. It doesn't. There's nowhere in the federal constitution that says that we have to create a common mission. Our common mission is simply life, liberty, and freedom.
Right.
That is the common mission.
Yes.
So anything other than that is something that has been created by a party system.
Right. Definitely.
Or a belief system that just simply is not there.
Yeah. G Freely, $10. Thank you so very much. Gen X for the Cold War win, as Grendelson said. I love it so much. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and for supporting the book club, G Freely. I really appreciate it. This was a good conversation, and it puts some good food for thought into our brains and things to think about. And
so jazzed after we're done. I always get off on such a intellectual, like, I feel like we're trying to make a difference. I feel like we actually have a dialogue, we have a conversation, and I'm not just shoving my beliefs down your throat. You're not shoving yours down my throat. We're just trying to find some common sense. Everything I say is basically my belief and my I'm just hoping that we can get together and work towards, making a better life for all of us.
100%.
Wherever you are in this country, wherever you are in this world, okay, there is absolutely no reason why we as a human species cannot get together and solve every problem that we have. We are smart people.
Right.
We are. We could solve these problems if we wanted to. We don't want to.
We don't because again we're humans and we're very tribal and we're very
enlightened. We got to move forward. We got to become more evolved. There's no reason that that anyone should ever be left alone. There's no reason why we should have anyone be hungry or unhoused. I'm sorry, there's no reason for it.
Well, I mean, before 100 years ago, none of that was guaranteed. I mean,
no, I know. I
and
understand it's that. I understand that. But in this society, in this day and age, where we are at, there's no reason for it. We can do it. We choose not to. And we just have to start making the choices to start helping each other more than we help ourselves. And that is such a difficult thing to do because we are, at heart, selfish human beings. And I can't do it. I can't do it. I wish I could do it. I can't save money. I can barely take care of myself and my kid. I have to have help. So, it's easy to say.
Right.
It's easy to say. It's not easy to do.
No.
And kumbaya.
Yeah. Well, I missed what you said there. Sorry, I missed that last part. Oh, kumbaya.
That's always my done.
Done. All right. Well, thank you for the amazing discussion tonight. Next week, we will be wrapping up the fourth turning and moving into touching on the fourth turning is here. We'll get a little update from Neil Howe. We'll watch a couple of things with him, and then next week we will wrap this up and then move on. And very, very soon we'll be doing a drawing for the Nelson book. I would say it'll probably be in about 3 weeks. We'll do the drawing for the Nelson book. That'll give me time to get the winners' addresses and get the books out.
I am looking at a box of Pro Set music cards.
You're looking at a box of what?
Pro Set music cards.
Oh.
The ones that have the Nelson cards in them. I'm looking at a box of those.
Ooh.
They are not that expensive.
Really?
Seriously.
Well, that's exciting.
I mean,
that's super exciting.
I gotta figure it out, but man, we could do a live unboxing.
Oh, that'd be great.
I just want to do. I mean, obviously, I want to put the set together, but I just want as many Nelson cards as I can get.
That would be so amazing. I would love that so much. We'll get a chance, hopefully, to do that. Hopefully.
Yep. Yeah,
But
yeah, oh yeah. I'll definitely have it by September for sure.
Awesome.
I will definitely have it.
Fantastic.
Either I will go out and find one in the wild, or I
Yep.
will order one on eBay. I've seen them; they're
Nice.
they're less expensive now than they were when they were.
Not a
That's
good
how
investment.
overprinted that
Well, look in your mailbox. I'll be sending this out to you tomorrow. Your copy
Awesome.
of Nelson's "What Happened to
Sweet.
Their Hair." And for those of
Did you inscribe? Will you inscribe it to me?
I can.
I wish you would.
I wasn't gonna write in the book.
No. Please do. You have my
Okay.
permission.
All right, sounds like a
Yeah.
plan.
Am I good? I hope so.
Yeah.
Am I okay? I got off my soapbox. I just,
Yep.
you know, I get kumbaya-ing. I get feely, you know. I get
Right.
like, especially towards the end when we're like, you know, we're wrapping up, and that was such a good. Natalie, is such a good conversation every week. I'm so
It
glad
is.
that we have this.
Me too.
You know, it's really been so. Thank you so much for bringing me on board.
You're welcome.
It has meant a lot to me, and so I just thank you so much. And
Well, good. Thank you
invite
for joining me. It's been a good experience so far, and will continue to be one. And yeah, I love having the different perspectives and the difference, but at the same time, so much commonality. So
it really is.
it's very
It
Gen
really
X.
is. So weird. So weird how that works. Cohorts.
Yep. Tomorrow night on the Discord, we'll be watching Little House on the Prairie and Cobra Kai. Thursday night, we are watching Incredible Hulk and Las Vegas. So come hang out with me over in the Discord, and then I'll be back here on YouTube on Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for my so-called live stream. We're talking Electric Youth era, late 80s, early 90s. We're talking TV, and we're talking crushes. So it's going to be a good
And
live
if
stream.
you don't join us on Fridays, I don't know what's wrong with you, because man, those things are awesome. 5 hours long, 6 hours.
Yeah. We have a good time. If you like unwinding at the end of your week, listening to old school
Man.
music and talking to Gen X friends, it's a really great way to unwind at the end of the week. So
It is.
definitely
Great.
come
We all
hang out with
We
me.
get together.
All
We'd
right.
be here unless we had those.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, guys. Have a great
Bye.
time. Have a great week. And I will see you all later. See you next Tuesday, Grendelson. Everybody have a great
Yeah.
night.
Be good, people.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.